I want to warn you. The information that I'm about to share with you changed my life. And the reason why I want to put out this warning is because once you learn it, you will literally start hating your business. Whether that be a done-for-you agency or an information business or a coaching business, consulting business, all of these have their liabilities. But the thing that I'm going to share with you guys today is a model that allows you to leverage done for you, done with you, do it yourself, all in one, while allowing you to also start tapping into the new forms of leverage. Now, I don't want to overwhelm you guys with a lot of information because this video is pretty long, but I want to let you guys know that the reason why I'm sharing this video for free is because we're getting ready to launch a live challenge. We're going to be randomly picking companies that we want to scale to 50K, 100 grand profit per month in 4 weeks. And the reason why I'm dropping this amount of value for free is because you see the value, you see how I implemented the process, but I actually want to apply these 7 steps into your business live in my Natural Born Leader community for everyone out there who owes it to themselves to be great. The topic of this video is essentially the 7 steps, the 7 systems that I had to go through to turn a commoditized agency appointment setting service into an $8 million in 24 months firm that implements growth infrastructures in businesses. For those who don't know, I'm the founder of clientacquisition.io, which is a growth consulting firm where we partner with other experts and agencies in scaling the earned insights and their earned scaling protocol and infrastructures into different markets. We're in over 50 markets right now. So if you're running a company and you want to build something meaningful, something that makes you proud, not just enough money where you can kind of like survive and buy a nice car, but a company, an organization where you have great impact and where you get to fulfill that itch of mastery, where you actually become the one for your niche. If you are that person, click the link below, sign up for the challenge. It's $9.53 to get started and then $49 a week afterwards. But I want to build 2 $500,000 offers in 4 weeks, and I need you, a CEO, smart, genius, who has amazing insights into scaling a company, to jump in the community, apply, and I'd love to work on your offer. What I'm about to share with you guys today is going to change your life because it is life-changing. It has changed my life. Quitting my 9 to 5, going through courses and not really figuring out how to actually make money to getting to $600,000 a month. Well, that changes your life pretty fast. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I cannot wait to eventually get to partner with you guys in your niches so we can actually dominate. All right. Serge looking big. Come on, guys. Come on. You guys like the little shoulders? I did a little shoulder yesterday. I'm joking. All right, guys. Where are you guys from? You guys want to drop in the chat where you guys are from? I'd love to know where you guys are calling from. And what time is it? Is it pretty late? Is this a good time versus, because normally we do webinars around noon Eastern. Is this time better for you guys than, let's say, doing it during the middle of the day? Perfect time. I love it. I love it. Yeah, we wanted to test this time instead of doing it the other way around. On Ottawa, like, nice. Love it. Upstate New York. Still in school. Okay. Might have to quit school after today. 5 a.m. Brisbane. Okay, I like that. We got that Australia time zone too. Okay, that's good. All right, guys, please stop trying to record this. You're not gonna record it. You're not gonna get access, so please stop trying. I'm pretty excited for today's presentation. I have like 141 pages to go through. I don't know how long it's going to be. It might be less long. It might be pretty short. I don't know yet. But this is the first time that I ever kind of like go through the actual documentation, the assets of the proper build and release offer. Okay, so like all the webinars that I've done on how to do build and release were all theoretical. They were all focused on understanding models and understanding why it's important to shift. But today we're not going to talk as to why you should do it. I'm just going to show you guys how I did it. Okay. And before I actually get started, how many people don't know anything about build and release who haven't seen any of the prior webinars? Anyone here is new to the first time? Okay. No, me, first time. All right. Okay, cool. All right. So then it's going to get tricky for me. So I'll have to kind of like ramp you guys up on the actual model in general, at least the models. But I'll do it through the presentation because I didn't want to spend a lot of time on the actual frameworks. But since we have people who haven't necessarily seen it, it will be important for me to actually go over the framework so you guys understand the potential. Because I can show you guys the what, but if you guys don't understand the why behind it, it gets pretty tricky as to actually understanding its potential, right? So yeah, 1 second. Can we drop the question form to everyone here so they can see kind of like, so once they have questions, they can also kind of like go through it, please? How to build a related model. All right, all right, okay. All right, all right, all right. Let's get to it. 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 All right, cool. Let me know if you guys can see the screen. I'll try zooming in a little bit, maybe a little more. No, this is a little too much. Is it big enough, the screen? Let me know in the chat, please. First time, first webinar. Yes. All right. Beautiful. Amazing. Also, thank you guys for everyone who paid to jump in. It means a lot. To be honest, moving forward, I'm not going to do free webinars because at the end of the day, there's no point in me. I already make enough YouTube videos. Like, I don't need to make more free webinars, especially that a lot of the stuff that I cover are so important that when I make it free, a lot of people tend to not value it because this is a funny lesson, right? So I was reading a lot of a newsletter from Taylor Welch. He shared a new perspective, which is that people value their money more than their time, right? So when someone actually gives you their time, they're not actually paying attention. They only start paying attention when they pay money. Because if someone values money more than their time, then when they exchange money with you, that means that they're actually going to find the thing more, they're going to put a lot of emphasis on the thing they paid for than the thing they paid their time with. Okay. So that's why if you guys ever do webinars, charge for them. Don't try to give it away for free. It's useless. Okay. Cool. So the topic of today is how switching to building and releasing growth infrastructure made me $8 million in the last 24 months. My name is Serge Gatari. I'm the founder of Client Acquisition at IO. Today's process is really going to be me walking you through the steps. And since some of you guys are pretty new, I'm also going to be walking you guys through just kind of like the models behind the actual, the frameworks behind the model. Okay. My first ever $500,000 a month was in 2022. So it's been a while, which is funny because a lot of the people who, some people make like a lot of money in a month and then they start kind of like consulting others on how to do it. But I validated this model like almost like 2 years ago, and I've made millions a long time ago. But it's now that I'm trying to get a lot more people to do it because, as you guys know, it's getting pretty competitive in this space. So instead of me trying to compete as the guy who does client acquisition, my goal is to attract other partners who are in different fields, who may be helping brick and mortar, who may be helping e-commerce, who may be helping SaaS, so they can apply the same model. And then we work together in scaling in other verticals. I've already done what I've done in this niche. I'm trying to venture into a lot more verticals. So the reason why I'm making this whole webinar, spent the last month building this out, is not because I want to sell you on getting on this model. It's because I need you switching to it so we can actually work together, right? My niche is infinitely competitive. I don't want to compete. I would like to instead attract other founders who are killing it in their space, show them the framework and everything we've built so we can actually go kill it in their vertical that might be less competitive. Okay. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Cool. Before we get started, let's make sure that our desires are the same. Number one goal is to create and experience true freedom. If you're here and your goal is not to experience true freedom, then you're probably not going to find this beneficial. None of the things that I personally do, I do them for money. I could care less about money. I just want to live life the way I want to live it. But unfortunately, in order for you to live life the way you want to live it, you need financial freedom. And the way I've figured out the best way to acquire financial freedom is learn how to create value, learn how to operate a business, and deliver infinite amount of value to everyone else. The second thing is leverage the financial freedom to provide knowledge and opportunity to those who can't afford to acquire it on their own. Once you've influenced and helped others get to where they need to be, then you leverage the impact to inspire others to do what we've done and create a community of people chasing true freedom. Okay? And the second thing that I personally like to focus on is chasing mastery and operational excellence. I personally want to go places where the average entrepreneur will not follow me, which means that we won't be competing with anyone. Guys, it's so easy to learn Facebook ad. It's so easy to learn how to build funnels. It's so easy to learn how to appointment set. It is easy to learn closing in the next 60 days. The goal is not for you to learn any of that skill and just try to monetize that skill. Learn everything, master everything so that you become one of one. There's no real wealth created by doing something that everyone else does. Okay. And the third goal is afford to be ourselves. Self-expression is where true freedom resides. If you're afraid to be yourself, whether that be on social media, whether that be in person, you're not really free. You're not really free. Okay. And the last thing we need to pay attention to is to avoid enslaving ourselves to the cash machine. This is something that a lot of founders don't understand, but not all business models that can make you a lot of money are worth pursuing due to the personal investment, which is time required to sustain the machine. I could care less if you make $1 million a week if you also work 15 hours a day. Like to me, it means nothing. It actually means you're pretty dumb because an actual owner of a business, literally, it's in business owner. It's not working in the business. It's not someone who builds VSLs. It's not someone who does webinars, like I'm still working in the machine, to be honest, right? But learn to own the machine. Don't let the machine own you. Okay. So those are really the few things. Let's make sure we're chasing freedom. Let's make sure we're chasing mastery. Let's make sure we want to be ourselves. And let's make sure we're not the slaves to the businesses that we build. My only request today, guys, is really simple. If you guys can, tag me every time you're watching this. Maybe you're watching the recording. Maybe you're here right now, to the hundreds of people who are here right now. If you can just tag me on Instagram, and I'd love that. Okay, let's go. And then eliminate all distractions: phone, social media, tabs, babies. If you have babies, tell the baby to not cry. Just sit her beside you. Make sure she hears out what we're about to talk on build and release. If you have a husband, wife, grandma, just tell them, hey, give me this next hour, please. Okay. You owe it to yourself to fight the biggest threat we're facing as a society, which is the inability to focus and pay attention. I can't tell you the amount of people who are broke because of this. Some of the smartest people never accomplish anything because they can't pay attention. Okay. Cool. Let's get into it. I've asked this question because I wanted to know, like, hey, who here hasn't seen any of my content and doesn't know much about me? I know I did ask who hasn't yet learned about build and release, but has anyone not heard of me at all? Is it anyone's first time being here? Never seen you before. Jesus Christ. Okay, goddamn. All right, cool. So we're gonna get into it. All right, just watch the ad. Okay, I love it. Um, Amazing. Let's get into it. So I'll definitely be going over my story, guys. So don't worry. And by the way, if you are in NBL or after today's webinar, I have this whole doc going over step by step on how everything was built, or at least here I explain a lot more the why and everything like that. So you guys will get to see everything. So if you're in on Discord, you guys will get access to my story and everything after this. Okay. Now, what is the best and fastest path I've found to achieve the above, which are these 4 points? It's building and releasing growth infrastructures. Now, a lot of people keep messaging me, hey, what does build and release mean? Or what does growth infrastructure, or what is the definition of infrastructure mean? Okay, so let me go get into it. A growth infrastructure, which you can also call a growth accelerator or a turnkey solution, is a comprehensive package of resources, strategies, processes, and tools designed to help businesses achieve rapid and sustainable growth. It typically includes a combination of the following: consulting services, technology solution, and implementation support tailored to the specific needs and objectives of the client. Okay, so let me try to use this. I was running a done-for-you appointment setting business before I started building and releasing these growth infrastructures. Okay, when you're running a done-for-you business, you're doing the work. Not only are you implementing the thing, but you're also managing it on behalf of someone, and you get paid for your time. Okay, building and releasing growth infrastructures, you don't get paid for your time. You get paid on the potential of the infrastructure you build. So take all these components, put them in a package, deliver them in 4 weeks, 90 days, it doesn't matter. Okay, so it's this idea of releasing solutions, things that are fully created, that have been proven to deliver a specific outcome to a business. Okay, now let me show you guys the impact of kind of like doing this. So in 2020, I quit my $2,000 job at 21 years old. I think so. Yeah, I was 21. With less than $8,000 in my savings, right? I think a lot of people are like, hey, let me wait to save some money and then I'll quit my job. But guys, I had probably spent the 2018, 2019 telling myself that I'll quit someday once I've saved enough money. And I never was able to save enough money. I don't know where the money was going. It's not like I was buying Porsches every day, right? But I can't tell. And it's not like I had expenses. It's not like I was living in a penthouse. It's not like I had, payroll. I had nothing other than get yourself to work, maybe go buy, I don't know, buy shoes. I didn't even know what I bought, or buy courses, right? But it took me 2 years of work and only had 8 grand saved up. So I don't, to be honest, sometimes, like they say, just over broke. And I felt that. So I was here. I'm still on the website of this company. Good food, 9-figure company, e-commerce meal kit company. I quit the job, right? And then I quit on the 23rd of June. And this was a Snapchat. I had to go find this on Snapchat. So the quote here is: quits job, gets 2 potential contracts for my agency on the last day of work. If this isn't the law of attraction, shit, what is? So that was cool. October of 2020, I started done-for-you appointment setting, right? So October, I quit in June, primarily because I had gone through Iman courses. I had gone through Sam Owen's Consulting Accelerator, and I saw the VSL funnel, and I saw Iman saying start an advertising agency, and I started an advertising agency. But I won't lie to you guys, I didn't make any money. Primarily because just because Iman said you should go start an advertising agency, he doesn't actually, it's not giving you service market fit. It's just telling you like, oh, speaking English is useful. Of course it is. But does that mean that your English is going to make you millions? No. Right? So it doesn't mean anything. So, but what I ended up realizing in October of 2020 is I felt the pain of not having sales calls on my calendar. And I was like, wow, if I can solve this problem for myself, and I know how painful the thing is, I'm sure someone else is willing to transact and exchange capital for my service, for my time, in order to help them solve the same problem. from October to December, I made, or at least from the 4 months or 5 months after quitting my job, I made a total of $12,000, as you guys can see here, right? Big month. At least it was great. I was making 30K a year. So making 12K was almost like half of what I was earning on my 9 to 5, which was amazing, right? Now, I also recorded a voice note. So whenever I try to make hard decisions and make important decisions in my life, I always like to leave a trace. So on October 14th, 2020, as you guys can see, I left myself a voice note saying, hey, go all in on appointment setting. From the 14th to the 21st, I had made my first $2,000 in a day, right? So that was good. That's how you find service market fit, or if you're in SaaS, that's how people call it, product market fit, okay? Solve the problem that you have faced. Don't try to listen to courses telling you to do some crazy offers, okay? January of 2021, I made my first $10,000 a month. So as you guys can see, October 20th, 2 months later, I made my first $10,000 a month. I sent a screenshot here. May of 2021, I was overwhelmed at a 25K a month with 10 plus clients. I think I had like 14 clients in my done for you agency at 25K a month. And I couldn't fathom scaling the business to 100K a month, not because I couldn't, but because I would never want to run such a business at scale. Who here is currently running a done for you agency? It could be short form content. It could be appointment setting. It could be paid ads. Anyone here has, anyone here is doing it? Okay, cool, beautiful, right? Guys, I'm sure you guys will relate to this. It doesn't matter how much money you're making with a done for you agency. You're not free. I mean, you're not, in my opinion, you're not even successful, right? Because for me back then, I was working 7 days a week. I was making 6 figures a year profit, but I was so overwhelmed. It was ridiculous. Every single problem that occurred in that business came back to me, right? And I was like, you know what? I think I'm smarter than this. And also, I was pissed off at people making 300 grand a month, to be honest, right? I was like, I'm working as hard, probably even harder than them. How am I just settling for 25K a month, right? So July of 2021, I decided to shut down this business, right? Literally did not onboard a single client, right? Shut down. I was like, hey guys, no more. Keep your $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month retainers. I don't need that. I'm gonna go for bigger goals. Okay. And here's what happened. I started mapping out a protocol. Okay. I spent time building this growth infrastructure and turnkey solution for scaling online service providers, right? June 5th, 2021, June 8th, 2021. Okay. I was still living at home, and sometimes the family noise try to keep you from making your dreams come true. So I had literally to go in this kitchen. It was a second kitchen in the basement, right? And I had to put my computer, my laptop on this fucking freezer, and I had to bring this little fucking chair, and I had to build. A lot of you guys don't know what it takes to actually go from the basement to the penthouse. You gotta start from where you're at. You can't wait to have the nice camera, the nice car, the nice chair, the nice webcam. Who cares? Get on a freezer, put that goddamn MacBook on, and sit your ass down and build, right? I might make this my profile picture, to be honest. I might have to post this, because it's so funny seeing this. But anyway, it just brings a lot of memories, right? I was so pissed off because I was just working. I was like, guys, this is gonna make me millions. But then you have family making noise, or you have my family telling me, hey, go do the dishes. I'm like, guys, are you kidding me? I'm trying to change our fucking generation, and you guys are trying to make me clean the dishes, right? So anyway, I'm just saying that 2021, even though I had made some money, I was still living at home, still mapping things out. And here's what happened a few months later. So from June 2021, working on the freezer, to November 2021, I made $100,000 a month. And I took home $76,000 profit. And I went from charging these agency done for you services for like 1,000 to 1.5K a month to charging $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 upfront. Okay. Literally,
You're 4 months away to go from building in the freezer to making more money than you know what to do with, right? From being a slave to my business, taking 10K to 14K per month with done for you agency working 7 days a week to making 76K profit with less than 5 to 6 clients closed every month. 12 months later, from October to December of 2022, I collected over $1 million in cash, right? This was one of those moments that I'm like, holy shit, what the hell, right? We did $1 million in 90 days, cash collected. Half of that was collected in a single month, actually. In December, 600 grand in revenue, over 500K collected in cash, and over $250,000 in profit that month, and over 424K in future profits. Okay. Now, here is something important. I worked a 9 to 5 for 2 years, only had $8,000 to show for. That is exactly over almost 700 days. Okay. I worked 700 days at a 9 to 5, and I only had 8 grand to show for it. Okay. Then I started a done for you agency in 6 months, was making 10K profit, but I had no time to afford going to the movies. I like to go to the movies. I was actually watching a movie last night. I went to see The Fall Guy. It was nice. It was funny. I had no time to find the love of my life. I'm trying to get married and have babies, right? And I ain't got time to be appointment setting when I'm trying to find a baby, okay, or make a baby or whatever, right? I had no time to spend with family, right? As you guys saw, I was in that second kitchen in the basement cooking, okay? All my life was thrown into the business. I was cash rich, but I was ridiculously time poor, right? To starting building and releasing growth infrastructures in 15 months, I had $1 million in the bank. I had top talent working for me. I spent 80% of my time researching, thinking, and I started spending 100K to 200K every summer to bring my clients, partners, my brother, and my team to Spain, to tan in Spain. I was like, what is this word? To tan. Okay. I get a lot more tan in summertime, guys. So, but yeah, this was like a year ago or so. But yeah, literally, you can go from not having anything to having $1 million in the bank cash in less than 12 months if you're selling something expensive that is sophisticated. These were my notes when I was 21 years old. I was like, hey, I want to have an online business, income that doesn't depend on my time before 21 years old. It takes a lot more time than you expect, but yeah, you get there. And I moved into this penthouse in Montreal. It's nice. And we go, summertime. I rented this villa. It was probably one of the craziest places I've ever seen in my life. So much so that we're trying to go to this retreat this summer, and I'm trying to figure out, like, can we go back here? Because there's no other. I mean, anyway, if you guys have seen the trailer or the tour of this villa, is insane, right? But we've been doing this every year. We like to bring clients and partners and the team to Spain or wherever we're going, just so we can spend a little bit of money and avoid taxes, Canadian taxes. I hope the government isn't seeing this video. Is anyone working for the government? Just so they know. Oh, you are? Okay, cool. Just tell them that I spend a lot of money to avoid taxes. Anyway, my goal today is provide every person attending or watching the recording with 3 simple things, okay? I want to give you undeniable proof that switching to this way of running a business will change your life and the life of everyone around you. I want to clarify how to craft, validate, and scale your own growth infrastructure from scratch. I want to offer you the opportunity to acquire the infrastructure I spent the last 2 years and $2 million building so you can skip having to build it yourself. Really simple. For those who stay till the end, you guys will get to see how you guys can acquire this. Okay. Now, what will be the topics? I'm going to start with theory of constraints, something that everyone here should understand if they want to learn how to scale a business. I'm going to be sharing what I learned from Hormozy, especially with Gym Launch, on how he made $17 million 12 months after launching his turnkey solution offer for gyms. And I'm going to start walking you guys through on the 7 steps that I take to launch and scale a new BNR offer past $7 million. I'm going to cover things like how do I source insights and how do I create unique mechanisms. Okay. I'm going to show you guys how I mapped out and created a process selling VSL for my first build and release offer. I'm going to walk you guys through the 50K a month appointment setting workflow and team structure. I'm going to show you guys the 50K a month sales process, sales scripts, and deal structure, and closer ramp up playbook. I'm going to show you guys the automated onboarding system I'd leverage for my build and release offer. The fulfillment infrastructure I built to handle 50K all the way to 600K a month in revenue. And the iteration and improvement process to create the best protocol and growth infrastructure. And we'll be ending this on the vehicle analogy. I plan on making it inevitable for you not to know what is needed to make your first $1 million in 12 months or less. Okay? Cool. Any questions before I start? Anyone has any questions on the freezer building or? Saim is sleepy. Come on. Come on, man. What you talking about? What does sleep have to do with this? Right? Go take a espresso shot or go to a bar and buy a tequila shot. I don't know. Do something. Right? All right, cool. Let's go. The number one mistake keeping you from scaling. There's this trend of people online creating insane risk-free offers. I'm sure you guys have seen. Who here has seen an ad today that says, hey, I'll do this for you or you don't pay? Let me know in the chat. Who here has seen that? 8 times, 1,000 times today. Agreed. Okay. It's insane. I don't even know. Do these people make money? Have anyone ever bought from these guys yet? Anyone from today bought anything in the last month where someone promised him, hey, I'll buy or you don't pay? That's crazy. To be honest, I don't understand, right? But now, they don't understand the risk that comes with such offers, okay? When you spend all your time working on the positioning and risk reversals in your offer, you're forgetting that your prospects wouldn't mind paying and incurring a little bit of risk as long as they get what they truly want, right? I don't spend time screaming the typical, I'll get you X or you don't pay, because I spend most of my time building systems and collecting data on what works. So when you do pay me, you get your desired outcome 90% of the time, right? It's like we've traveled worlds where the online space is built on good offers instead of being built on good solutions, on great solutions, right? And I wanted to kind of like share this analogy. So check this out. Imagine if Uber, right, spent all of its time selling you on the idea that you can click a button and have your taxi arrive in 5 minutes or less. And the ability to have luxurious car come pick you up from a date, right? So let's say you go on a little dinner date, you guys go eat sushi, you buy a little nice bottle of wine, and then it's, it's like, hey, we're not driving, we're a little tipsy, let's get an Uber, okay? But when you finally downloaded the app and paid to order your taxi, not only does it take 50 minutes not only does it come 50 minutes late, but your date doesn't want to leave with you at the end of the evening. Doesn't matter how good Uber is at marketing or client acquisition, guys, the enterprise value of Uber would be worthless. Uber is not a 50 billion market cap plus because they can market. They have the market cap of billions because they actually have a great product. And I feel like a lot of marketers online forget this. It's like, if your product is good enough, you do not need to market. You do not need to say, I'll get you this or you don't pay. That's crazy. It doesn't make any sense, right? My goal with getting everyone to build out protocols and put together infrastructure is my way of emphasizing the importance of building great mechanism instead of spending your time and your dollars trying to play a game of perception. Like, I'll get you this or you don't pay. 90% of everyone who says you don't pay is a scammer. 90% of everyone who says they'll do this or you don't pay is a scammer. There's no single person, a founder, a builder, who's building services, products, and going around spending their years, time, the thing that they won't ever get back, and telling you, oh, I'll do my work for you for free. And if it doesn't get you the thing, it will be free and you won't pay. That would be a dumb thing to say, right? So guys, please avoid, if you have it in your marketing, stop doing it, okay? Now, before I share Hormoz's transformation, I'd like to share a few other figures that I learned from, okay? Let's start with Nick Osman. Anybody has seen Nick Osman's lives recently? He's going a little crazy, but he was a smart guy back then. Who here has seen Nick Osman going crazy, right? He's selling anything right now, right? All right, beautiful. So for those who don't know Nick Osman is a guy from Ontario, Toronto, Canada. He graduated at as an engineer in Canada at I forgot his school. but at Queen's University. And he did door-to-door to pay off loans. He does sales and marketing for SaaS companies, okay? But what he ended up doing for SaaS companies is he ended up turning it into a protocol called salesprocess.io. And from 2018 to 2021, he made around $20 million, right? After selling 1,000 SaaS, 1,000 or more SaaS, looking for product market fit and to scale. So instead of necessarily doing done for you growth marketing for these SaaS businesses, what he essentially did is he built a playbook and an infrastructure that has been proven to scale SaaS companies. He showed them how to find product market fit. He showed them how to build sales letters. He showed them how to build funnels. He showed them how to sell over the phone, right? And he made $20 million with it. Was amazing. I learned a lot of outbound prospecting from him. Okay. We have Ravi Abuvala, right? Some of you guys must know him. Just released one of the call that he did a masterclass in our community. He started an agency serving real estate. Funny enough, he did scale it to 300K per month, which is impressive in real estate. But the thing that broke his business is that he was including ad spend in his monthly retainer. So out of the 300K, he had to pay for ads too. Okay. So it wasn't like 300K per month, and then maybe remove the contractor fee, and then you have, let's say, 50% margins. No, he probably had to spend half of that on ads, and then he had the remaining 50% to split and pay expenses and everything like that. Okay. Now, that leads to a lot of headache for not that much profit. So what did he do? Well, one of his friends asked him, hey, how are you going about scaling your agency? Right. And can I pay you 5K for you to kind of like show me the process and systems that you've implemented in your business? And Ravi was amazed by how easy it was to make $5,000. Then he decided to start something called Scaling with Systems. He ended up shutting down his agency. In the last 5 years, he's generated over $25 million and has scaled past $1 million a month twice, from building and releasing different growth infrastructures to coaches and consultants. And his main thesis, or at least infrastructure, was related to ad infrastructure, leveraging VAs, and backend systems, right? And that's what he made $25 million with. Cole Gordon, I believe he's making a few $1 million a month. He was previously employed at Traffic and Funnels, and he left. I think he left before the company crumbled. For those who don't know, Traffic and Funnels, FTC went after them because of the remote sales, or the sales training, because of the remote sales training course that they were selling like crazy. But so Cole took everything he learned from Traffic and Funnels and launched his own growth accelerator, growth infrastructure offer around scaling high ticket service and coaching and consulting businesses. He was pushing the VSL funnel. He's still pushing setters, and he's still pushing closers, and he's selling them for $18,000. It is insane, right? They essentially help you implement these systems and talent into your business. And the outcome is he's currently doing around 3 to 4 million a month. And he started like 2-3 years ago, right? Now, one interesting person who recently pivoted to building and releasing growth infrastructure. Now, I call it building and releasing growth infrastructure, but they might not call it that, right? Some people may call it licensing. Some people may call it done for you, whatever, the code consulting, doesn't matter, right? But Kai Bax, who here knows Kai? You guys know Kai Bax, right? He's going crazy also with ads. Right? Cool. Perfect. So Kai was, in 2020, 2021, I believe 2020 mostly, he was pushing his course for agencies to start e-commerce agencies, right? On the side, he was also running his own e-commerce agency. I believe the most he's ever made with both is like 150K a month, right? Which is funny. Like, you would think that someone who has an agency and someone who has a course business should be making millions, right? But that wasn't the case. Kai, I personally don't think he ever did more than $250,000, even with his course and his agency a month. I mean, okay. But what's funny is this guy just shut both down of his agency. She shut down both of the agencies and the course business. And he's now essentially building and releasing a client acquisition infrastructure, which is focused on ads, VSL, and a closer, right? And here's one of his ads that he's selling. Essentially, he's like, hey, how about I take my infrastructure and I implement it in your business? The outcome, he's currently making around $700,000 a month, which is insane. right? Now, do you see a common theme between these figures? They were already smart, doing something, right? But lacked the millionaire status. Today, all of them, they pivoted to selling their insights, their systems, their processes, and talent, and they automatically became millionaires. Nothing changed. It's not like they didn't know Facebook ad. It's not like they didn't know how to do outreach. It's not like they didn't know how to sell. They all knew those things before. But because of the weight of the model that they're leveraging, now they essentially make millions, if not every month, then it's every other month, right? Nothing changed. Nothing changed other than the model. Okay, cool. Now let's get into it. Warren Buffett once said, it's not about how hard you wrote, but what boat you're in. And that's what really happened with all these guys. I think Ravi was already smart at 300K a month agency, but maybe making a little bit, little profit. Ravi was already smart. Nick Hosmer was already smart, selling door to door or running done for you SaaS, right? Cole Gordon was probably as smart, if not even more smart, when he was working on traffic and funnels and seeing how traffic and funnels was making millions of dollars a month, right? Carbax was already bright when he was running his agency and his course business, but nothing makes you money like building and releasing sophisticated turnkey solution like nothing else, right? Now, let's go into it. Now, they've made multiple 8 figures, but what about us underdogs building from scratch, right? So let me show you guys some of the case studies and partners we have in GCP who are implementing everything here, right? So we have Wyatt. I'm sure you guys have seen him, 16-year-old founder of Tactical Consulting. He's one of the partners in GCP. We're working one-on-one with him, running ads for him, YouTube playbook, recruitment. He sent this message 4 days ago. He was asking us to recruit more setters because they were at $44,000 a month in the first 4 days of the month. Let me repeat that. He is 16 years old, okay? Like 16, like the time where you go get your license, he's making 44K a month in the first 4 days, okay? He started working with us, making 5K per month or so. He was implementing AI caller from Air.ai. But when he came and started working with us, we're like, hey, instead of you selling it as a commodity, how about you position it as an infrastructure and you solve other growth problems for the business? And he sold it for $10,000, and the rest is history. He crossed 30K a month in March, made 30K in January, crossed 80K a month in March, so 2 months ago, I believe, a month and a half. And he made $50,000 in a single week. Cool. Oliver, he was selling coaching packages for like $500 a month. We were like, hey, stop the madness, stop the commodity coaching, stop helping broke agencies, stop, he's helping lead gen agencies. I was like, hey, turn that into a growth infrastructure and sell it for, I don't know, 10K, 12K. And he went from 30K a month working with 60 clients to 77K with just 6 clients. So he hit his peak in 60 days after launching his growth infrastructure. We have Jack, who's experienced scaling gyms, selling systems and automation. He joined a few months ago in February, and he validated his first build and release offer for 30K with a $10,000 upfront in Australian dollars, right? Cool. We have Caleb. Caleb is also previously running gyms, and his partner wife was running a beauty spa. They decided to go into selling growth infrastructure based on the experience they have of scaling brick and mortar businesses, leveraging AI, which is important. And they first sold their first build and release for $10,000 upfront and 1K per month. Here they were like, hey, ladies and gents, just closed our first BNR, 10K upfront. Big thank you. They essentially joined us just to validate this offer, right? KJ was an he's still running an e-commerce agency, but he switched to selling AI growth infrastructures to an insurance agent who paid him $9,500, which is pretty expensive for an insurance agent. But when you're selling turnkey growth solutions, it sells itself. We have Steve, who's working with manufacturing businesses, wood businesses. He was selling done-for-you marketing services for like a few $1,000s a month, for 5K a month. Also like 5K packages for coaching. We got him to pivot and sell a growth infrastructure. and now he's collecting like 25K for upfront and 10K per month to I think he sold this to like a $20 million company, right? That needed some a new acquisition channel. We have SaaS, Los, who's in SaaS, sold a 52K growth infrastructure, 10K upfront. We have content agencies. Miro, worked with jumped into GCP after he had sold his first build and release. So he didn't necessarily come and work with us before to validate. He just went ahead and sold it for 13K content growth infrastructure and $2,000 a month management fee. And once he sold that, he came and worked with us. We have who's struggling to make money as a growth partner or growth operator, as a lot of people call it nowadays, on rev share. Guys, I can't tell you how many people are broke because of rev share. Everybody's so excited at the idea of, oh my God, I get rev share from a company. Wow, what an amazing feeling. It must be good. They're going to make $1 million. I'm going to collect half of that. I'm going to make $500,000. I'm going to be rich. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Do you really think someone who's making millions of dollars a year is going to give you 25% of his revenue because you built him a school community? Let's actually pause real quick. Do you guys see what's going on with the growth operating trend? With people claiming that building a school community deserves you percentage on revenue? Like, are you serious? Who here calls themselves growth operators? Or IPGA? Guys, you can go on onlinejobs.ph or Upwork, pay someone $5 an hour to build your school community. In what world would an influencer or a creator who's actually smart, dumb ones will give you 20%, but 20% of nothing? Someone who's already successful is not going to give you nothing. They're smart. They can just, it's a commoditized skill. Building school communities, I mean, it's literally built itself. Like, are you going to do what? Upload courses on Circle, on Vimeo? Is that what, like, imagine, I would actually feel like you guys are scammers, because how do you charge someone because you uploaded a course on a platform? Isn't that crazy, guys? Yeah, Adam, please stop the cap. Stop the cap, please. Don't ask for more, just ask for $50. If you say I'll build you a school community, I'll pay you 50. Ain't no way am I giving you shit. I might not even pay you $50. You might have to do it for free, But anyway, let's keep going. So here's what happened. So had like two partners, two influencers that he was coaches that he was working with an audience, and the guy wasn't making no money. He was working all this hard work, and at the end of the month, he might probably make like 2-3K a month, 4K, 5K, right? And we're like, hey man, stop what you're doing. Just build an infrastructure, build a protocol, and just sell it up front, make it seem like it's valuable. Don't undervalue your skill and your time, because what people who charge rev share, they're essentially just undervaluing their time. And now he's just making like 50K, 40K a month, right? But he's just selling upfront. He's not selling anything for free. We have Miguel, who's selling is running dealer growth, right? He's building and releasing growth infrastructure for car salesmen. It is insane, right? Car salespeople, like the people that we say that we don't like to be sold by, like the salesy people, right? He's going to them and building and releasing them a growth infrastructure that he's selling for 7K to 9K. Before he started working with us, he just joined GCP. He was kind of like stuck at 3K for his offer, but now he's just been closing 3K upfront for 3 months, another payment plan. So like he's killing it, right? We have Felix. They joined. Felix had $2 in his bank account. Then we got him into kind of like targeting solar companies, selling them a growth infrastructure, and they just, I mean, you guys can just see the closed deals that came from it. Partnered up with Jolie, and I think they had like in the first week they probably had like they probably out of 20 calls that was taken by closer, they closed like 5 new clients in the first few weeks, right? Matt Chan, Founder of Acquisition. It's actually called Acquisition because he's going after pool builders. He started agency only a month ago, was generating deals, but wanted to scale. Now averaging 50K per month. He's essentially building and releasing growth infrastructures to people with pool builders, essentially. Kelly, founder of Jelly Digital, she was previously selling websites, right? And I think she found me on YouTube and was like, you know what? Let me try to stop being commoditized. And she now packaged. We helped her build a new growth infrastructure, and now she's selling it for 6K AUD. And we also placed a closer with her, so she doesn't even sell it herself. So that has been pretty wonderful, right? Alex Pivinsky, targeting lawyers, selling also validator growth infrastructure to solar people. Damien and Dorian, partners at Hoot Square, targeting HVAC companies, 10K deals, 12K deals. And also he just left his 9 to 5. It was the first time that he was still working at a 9 to 5, but he officially just left his job because if you're making 12K in a day, why would you work a 9 to 5? Doesn't make any sense, right? We've also validated this in the restaurant niche, right? Gurveer and Adam went from essentially struggling to charge $500 a month, 500 pounds a month in marketing services to restaurants, to selling a 11.5K growth infrastructure to restaurants. Mo, in ecom, he scales his own brands, but he decided to try out this build and release thing, and he made 35K in the 4 or 5 days, with people paying him 10K upfront through the DMs because they were like, hey, why wouldn't I get access to the thing you're using to scale, right? I had to stop adding these wins, or else we would spend a whole webby going over proof, but on how this is changing people's lives. But let's get into the theory of constraints. Guys, any questions so far? Put it in the chat if you can. Interested in peer-to-peer person targeting lawyers. Yeah. Yeah, we've kind of like gone a little broad with what we're doing with a lot of our partners. We have people in a lot of different niches. Depending on the actual brick and mortar local service business, they don't necessarily, we have a different thing where we have to figure out how much you can release it into their business, right? It's not just like they can just, you're not going to go to someone who's making $1 million a month in HVAC and tell him, hey, kind of like implement this funnel and manage it yourself. You might have to build a lot of things and release it, but not everything. Okay. So let's keep going. By the way, please give people the chat so they, at the end, we're going to have the Q&A session. So you guys will be able to ask all the questions you guys want. Okay. Now let's go over theory of constraints. Every system has at least one constraint, and it is the role of management to find the constraint and restructure the rest of the organization around it. And this is something, the reason why I wanted to add this, I actually added it today, but it is important to simplify business. I see so many people try to complicate it and be like, oh, your funnel is this, oh, use this new IG funnel, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, those are tactics. That's not how you scale a business, right? To scale a business, you have to understand constraints, right? And something that I personally want to show you guys is how I visualize a business when I'm looking at the potential of scaling it, okay? So let me show you real quick. I'll show you real quick what it looks like. All right. So when I'm looking at scaling a business, or even when I'm looking at scaling my own business, let's say one of the goals we have is to get to $1 million a month, right? So the way that I look at it is I look at every single function separately, okay? So $1 million a month business has to have $1 million a month offer or offers. They have to have $1 million a month worth of marketing or of attention. They need to have $1 million a month worth of sales, or they need to handle $1 million a month in throughput in sales. Okay. They need to be able to onboard $1 million a month in customers or clients. They need to be able to deliver on $1 million a month. And they need to also be able to get feedback and iterate and improve product at a pace fast enough so they can sustain the $1 million a month offers. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, here is something a lot of people don't understand. When you're running a business like an agency, so let's go agency first, okay? An agency business, you can have $1 million upfront offer. Like creating, even as an agency owner, by the way, guys, you can get to position your thing to be $1 million a month, okay? You can also easily get to spend $1 million or get enough marketing and attention to get you to $1 million a month, right? But the problem here, you'll probably face the first constraint, which is CAC, right? You need to be profitable enough to be able to afford the attention. So therefore, most agencies are not profitable enough to afford $1 million a month worth of attention. So none of them ever get there. At least a tiny bit of them get there, right? But the other problem too is that the next constraint that an agency faces is when it comes to their onboarding constraints. An agency cannot onboard $1 million a month worth of new revenue in a single month. They would break the whole business, okay? And they definitely cannot deliver on $1 million a month. And they definitely cannot iterate fast enough. Maybe they can iterate and collect data because they own the data, right? Or they see it every day. But knowing that you can't really afford this much attention and you can't onboard this many people, then you can't try to be like, oh, I'm gonna do done for your agency and I'm gonna get to $1 million a month. You're crazy. It doesn't work like that. Okay. Now, also, there is another problem with coaching or consulting or information. First of all, coaching, it's pretty hard for you to have $1 million a month offer, especially in the commodity space that we're in, where it's like everyone can teach you how to be a setter, everyone can teach you how to be a closer, everyone can teach you how to start an agency. So, I mean, you guys are seeing Iman drop his thing to 37 a month. You guys are seeing a bunch of people selling it for free on YouTube, right? Because it's the offer is so not attractive that they have to, or there's so much competition that they have to drop in order to afford the attention. Okay. Maybe with coaching and high upfront packages, you can afford the attention, which is why most of these businesses work. They're literally marketing companies. They're not operationally driven, right? And they can handle a lot of people. But here's where a lot of the coaching offers break. It's here on the feedback and optimization phase. None of their clients get results, right? So therefore, this flywheel breaks. Doesn't matter if you can spend all the money in marketing, spend all get the sales team, get the people onboarded because it's just a portal on like Kajabi or whatever, or school. Well, it doesn't matter. If you can't deliver and optimize here, your thing is going to break. Okay. So you have to analyze your business and ask yourself, can I build offers that can stack together so that I can get to $1 million a month or 100 grand a month? Can I afford marketing? Can I afford to build a sales team? Can I afford to onboard people? Can I handle to deliver 100 grand or $1 million a month worth of throughput and optimize and get feedback and iterate fast enough? So for me, once I understood this, I realized that like I had to change something, right? And I changed it, I guess. So let's see how Hormozi it applied to him. How Alex Hormozi switched to licensing his growth protocol and infrastructure and made $17 million in 12 months. So let me walk you guys through his journey. So at 23, he left his consulting job. 24, opened 5 gym locations. 26, he closed the 6th gym down. He lost everything. Got back into launching gyms and lost everything for the second time. What he means here by launching gyms, it's he essentially would fly out to gyms and run their ads and get people to show up, close those people, and collect all the money up front, right? But he had a problem, which I'm going to cover shortly, and he lost everything. At 26, so after kind of like losing everything for the second time, he started licensing his infrastructures and his processes and his systems, right? I call it building and releasing infrastructures, right? And it worked. 27, so a year later, he made 3 million profit in 6 months, then $17 million profit, not revenue, $17 million profit 12 months later. And then he started all these other gyms, but that's not where we're going to focus, or these other products. I'm not going to focus on that. For me, what I want to show you guys is this important thing that I was kind of like breaking down. What we're about to learn here is lesson on leverage and risks. Stage 1, when he quit his consulting job and started a gym, What he essentially started doing is he started, learning how to buy equipment. He learned how to pay rent. He learned how to, train people. He learned how to get lead flow. He learned how to do appointment setting. He learned how to do sales, right? But he was doing it all himself and for himself, right? And a gym on average makes like 5 to 10K profit per month, especially if you're making like a micro gym. Of course, if he has 5 gyms, who cares? Maybe times that by 5, right? But the problem with running a micro gym is that it's pretty unleveraged, right? Regardless of how you try to do it. Without leverage like capital to buy into a franchise or hire people who've already scaled gyms, you have to do everything yourself. Pay location, find location, pay rent, buy equipment, run your marketing, set appointments, close clients, train clients, right? And you essentially create a job for yourself, which is why most micro gyms make around $3,000 profit per month and maybe 7K profit on most, right? Now, going through this process made him acquire skills that are important. And he went on to partner with other people to acquire and build the 5 more gyms, okay? How much money was he making here? I would bet that he wasn't making more than like 200 grand a year, right? Even with these 6 locations, okay? Now, let's go to stage 2, where he went from doing gyms himself, so actually running a gym, to taking all these skills that he had acquired and started offering them to other gyms. So he started almost like a done-for-you growth agency for gyms, right? He did scale it to 100 grand a month, okay? So he was like, hey, and I'll show you guys. So to go from 100K a year to $1 million a year, he had to jump up layers of leverage, right? He deleted everything unleveraged to stick to leveraged processes, hire and train others to execute the process. So he started leveraging employees. He started leveraging technology, appointment setting with technology and setters, right? And one closer can do a lot of damage, which is leverage, right? So look at what happened. In order to go from 6 figures a year to $1 million a year, you actually delete how can I say this? You delete things that are unleveraged. You don't need to do more. You just delete the thing that keep you unleveraged, okay? So let me show you. So he deleted things like running a brick and mortar business, equipment, rent, training people, less time, and location constraint, okay? And he focused on leveraged services. Lead gen, Facebook ad is pretty damn leveraged, probably even more leveraged than it was back then. Appointment setting, if you put a few flows on GHL and a few automated flows on ManyChat, you can do appointment setting in a pretty leveraged way. Closing, every 20 minutes, 5 minutes, 25, 30 minutes, you speak with someone, you can get them to buy. That's a pretty leveraged skill too. So technology and closing over the phone or in person, it doesn't matter, is pretty leveraged. But another thing that a lot of people don't understand is that his pricing model was also leveraged, performance-based. Now, it's not the performance basis that I was shitting on earlier. He was actually going to people who already have gyms and already making money, okay? But the way that he was doing it is, hey, if I go to your location and I do the marketing, I do the sales, and I collect $100,000, I get paid $100,000. And you can keep the recurring revenue since the gyms, he was selling memberships, okay? Now, let's look at this. Leveraged mechanism, so leveraged solution times leveraged pricing, $1 million a year business effortlessly, correct? Does that make sense, guys? So leveraged mechanism, leveraged pricing, $1 million a year, in no time, okay? Now, how come he stopped doing this? Why would you stop a business that's making you $1 million per year or more? Well, that's where the next thing I want to cover comes in place. The problem with this business model, which is done for your growth and you get rev share, is because you have no operational control. He didn't control the business. He could sell one thing and the gym not stick to the offer he made, which ended up being chargebacks. Greed from the gym owners with no skin in the game. If a gym owner sees you make it rain without a clue of the work you put in, they get the idea that you don't deserve your earnings, and they ask their members to charge back, which is what happened to Hormozy. He was making all this money to these gyms, but once he left the location, the gym owner was like, "Hey guys, if you guys signed up with Hormozy, please cancel and I'll sell you at a cheaper price." And I mean, he got a shit ton of chargebacks, right? All roads in this done for you growth on performance lead one place. Your client remains as happy as long as you don't make a lot of money. And as soon as you start making a shit ton of money, they'll tell you to go back to where you came from. And since you have no control on their business, you have no choice but to go in your bedroom and cry. Shout out to all the growth operators. I feel for you guys. Or IPGA. Now, humans are selfish by default, guys. It is normal. It's not bad. It's literally like, it's like saying it rains. So what? It rains. If you're in the rain, you're gonna get wet, right? You can't be sad that people are selfish. You should actually expect it, right? And they will always do what's in their best interest. That's why most people doing this model leave it as soon as they get a case study, right? Don't think that you're going to do this growth on performance only till you're making millions. You're crazy if you think you're going to do that, okay? Now, here is the new formula. Leveraged mechanism, leveraged pricing times a lot of risk and the lack of control can either be $1 million a year business or you can lose it all. So it's 50-50. You're going to get rich or you're going to go broke. But most of the time, it's both. You're going to get rich and broke at the same time, right? Never forget that the risk that comes with working on performance, never forget this risk, okay? And like I was looking at this quote from Charlie Munger. He says that the 8th wonder of the world is compounding interest. And the first rule of compounding is never interrupt it unnecessarily. And the second one is avoiding failure is easier than seeking success. Because if you avoid failure long enough, you end up succeeding by default, right? It doesn't matter how great you are in short term. $1 million times 0 is 0, right? Never play a game where failure can't be avoided. And this is one of the greatest lessons that I've gotten personally. I do not play games where I know that there is a risk of losing. Ever. Never, never. Right? You guys need to figure out your flywheel. A great offer, a great solution, a great outcome for your client, and a great outcome for the service provider. But in the case of how he was doing it is, he had a great offer. Hey, I'll come in, make you money, and I'll take a little bit of it or most of it. That was a great solution. He was pretty good at solving that problem for the gyms. But the problem is, in the turn of the flywheel, over time, he started making so much money from these gyms that the outcome became too great of an outcome for him, which ended up being an issue for the actual gyms. So inevitably, over time, his flywheel was stopped, was interrupted, okay? You don't become great or build a great company because you worked for 1 week or 1 month or 1 year. You become great because of the cumulative effect of consistent incremental efforts over time that leads you to significant momentum and success. Like one of the greatest companies has ever done it is Amazon, right? And that makes them the greatest e-commerce company that has ever lived, that has ever existed. If you guys haven't learned about flywheel from Amazon, essentially they figured out that, hey, if we can lower prices on more offerings, then we'll get more visits on our website. If we get more visits on our websites, then a lot of people will come and want to sell on our websites. If more people want to sell on our websites, then we expand the store and extend the distribution. If we extend all these things, then we grow revenues per fixed costs, which allows us to reduce even more the prices. Guys, you do this flywheel for 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you become a company that does $1 billion a day because time becomes your ally. Time becomes your ally. Every second of the day, I get more luckier. I get more successful. That's how you should build a business, right? Not be like, oh, but I'm waiting if this client is going to be mad at some point. No. Why don't you build a flywheel that makes it so that when you make your clients happy, you get happier. And if you get happier, you serve them better, and then on and on and on and on. Okay, a good book to read about this flywheel thing is Good to Great by Jim Collins. Probably one of the greatest book about businesses. Okay, he goes around and learns about what makes companies great and what makes others fail. Okay, now the coaching, consulting, done for you models all have something that breaks in their flywheel. Like I said, in the info, consulting, coaching thing, 90% of your clients don't see results. So the flywheel never even starts. Like that's the problem with a lot of people, is that these businesses and a lot of people, I see a lot of young people who are getting into the space of consulting and coaching, and they think that just because they made money on the front end, that they actually have finally found something that will make them money. It does not work like that, guys. Just because you have been able to collect money does not mean you have a business. You just have figured out sales and marketing, right? That's not a business. You have to get your clients results in order for the flywheel to kick in. You need to complete a complete turn, okay? And do not be like, oh, if they don't implement it, then it's their fault. No, no, no. It is your company that sold them on the thing in the first place. It is your duty to figure out how to get them results. It is not their responsibility, even if they don't implement. And as long as you keep blaming your clients, then the shorter your success will be. You'll make money for 6 months, and everybody who you sold will be like, hey, I didn't actually get any results. And they'll start talking to 5 people a day about how shitty you are. And then you will have no marketing left. You'll be like any other guru out there who is jobless, right? And who just spends their day talking on Instagram like, hey, I have this offer. We're looking for 5 more people. We're looking for more 5 people. Man, shut the fuck. I'm sorry. Can I curse? Can I curse, guys? Let me know in the chat. Can I curse? Yeah. When these guys have 600,000 followers and they're like, I'm looking for 5 more people, I'm like, shut the fuck up. None of those 600,000 people, half of them are fake, want to work with you. Why would the 5 people want to work with you? Right? Anyway, that's when it comes to info. Done for your service. The bigger you get, the less quality, attention, and scale your clients get, which leads to worse results. And that makes them churn. This is a weird business. It's like when you're small, your clients are great, get great results. When you try to actually get rich, your clients' results get shittier. So your success is actually is opposed to your client's results. So that's why done for you service, even though it's like everybody wants done for you, it's like you actually do not want done for you from a really successful company, because those are the worst. You're just another retainer out of 150 retainers, right? And this is what happens with the agency people. They all have commoditized services. Therefore, they're forced to charge low ticket prices because they can just, the prospect can go find another provider, right? And since they don't charge a lot of money up front or have any cash flow, much margins left, then they get average results because they can't afford great talent. And since they can't get them great results, then people churn, and then they have to keep going back and forth on acquiring clients, and then they never make any money, right? Cool. Now, here is where things got exciting for Hormozi. This is the life-changing stage. This is the stage where he accessed a new model with close to infinite leverage and lowest risks, okay? He essentially realized that like, hey, what if I took every variable of success and turned it into a protocol? And I built it once and implemented infinitely, 1,000 times leverage, right? No more constraints to scaling other than the size of the market and their ability to buy. Guys, the only thing that will keep you from making money with build and release is the size of the market and their ability to buy, okay? Creating the solution is leveraged, delivering the solution is leveraged, and all the risk is dependent on their client's ability to execute. So no more constraints, because all they did was just document and build systems. So this is leveraged fulfillment, right? So no more in-person, no more done for you lead gen, no more appointment setting or closing. Anything they were doing for you, they just helped you do it yourself, okay? The most beautiful part is that everything was built once and sold hundreds, if not thousands of times, close to zero marginal cost of replication. At first, I think they were doing a lot of some done for you. I think maybe even today they're doing a little bit of done for you, right? But their solution also got better without them doing most of the testing. Here is something that a lot of people don't understand with build and release, is that, you know, the traditional way, like when you're working with a coach, then you're expecting them to be the reason why you succeed. And when you're working with an agency, you're depending on them. But a lot of the thing that a lot of people don't get is that the new businesses that are the best today, the founder and the company builds the best service because of the data they collect from their clients. It's not that the founder or the company has a lot of proprietary knowledge that they leverage. It's the fact that it's like a way of crowdsourcing data from your clients and bringing it all back to them and positioning it as, hey, out of hundreds of clients we have, here's what works the best, guys. Please implement the best thing on every single layer, right? So all they did was, you joined their program, they would implement the infrastructure, you would generate data, they would then would source the best outcomes and share the process with the rest of the community. So literally, this is the only model where you sell people, then they implement, then from them implementing, you actually get a better solution because you have data, a lot more data than you would by implementing it for one client or 2-3 clients a month, like an agency would, right? And this is one of the best flywheel that you will ever create in your business. When the more successful you get, the more successful your clients get. Because the more successful you get, the more clients you get, and the better data you collect, which you can then feed back into the whole community. So if they did the test on their own, it was leveraged because they did do some ads. They would spend like 50K a month on ads and collect the best performing ads. But this is leverage, so they don't spend any time, right? But the most important part here is also the last one, which is there was no risk. Every single thing was upfront fee for $16,000, and they had probably like 80% margins, right? Everything was sold with a price commitment. It's $16,000, whether you want it or you don't. It is up to you. You can break it up over a few months, but it's 16 grand. So there was no, oh, it's going to be performance, and then when I make money, then it is. No. It's like you're buying a car. Whether you drive the car or not is not my problem. But the car costs this much. Okay? No more performance basis, no more chargebacks. All the risk was on the client and their ability to execute with a proven system and protocol. Now, what was the outcome? When you multiply leveraged fulfillment with leveraged pricing, 80% margins, and you also multiply it with the fact there is almost zero risk on you, you start compounding the money printing machine. You start a flywheel that will never end, right? If you build a business where it's almost impossible to lose, you inevitably win. And that's why, you know, if we look at how much he exited the business for, he sold 60% of Gym Launch and Prestige Lab for $646 million in all cash deal. You're not going to get anyone to give you $50 million paycheck because you built something where you have like one YouTube video and a VSL. No. Trust me, you're not going to do that. Okay. You have to build something that compounds, something that gets better over time. If your business does not get better with time, you have no enterprise value, right? Your business is worthless. My business would be worthless, right? Now, I'm not saying that Hormozi couldn't have made $17 million running gyms or doing done-for-you growth. But what I'm saying is the work required to pull $17 million profit in both of his older ventures would have made him someone not worth looking up to. Let me repeat that. The work required to make $17 million profit running gyms, right? And the time it would have required him, or let's say to make $17 million running an agency that helps gym scale, the work and the time would have made him someone not worth looking up to. Like if Hormozi came to me and like, hey, I made $17 million, but it took me 15 years, I would have been like, okay, cool, boss. Keep doing your thing. Right? You have to, the reason why Hormozi is an impressive case study is because his case study is impressive. It's not because it's not because of the lead gen ads that he used to run. That's not the case. It's not because he can sell. Infinite amount of people can sell. It's the way that he played the game. Right? No one looks up to people who grind and become successful in 50 years. We love to look up to superstars who achieve greatness in the most effortless way possible, right? Now, are we clear that we should all be packaging a process, a protocol for a specific niche, packaging it all into one, selling it for high ticket instead of working for free or being to slaves to a small little business? Let me know in the chat, guys. I need the chat to go crazy. Okay, cool. Perfect. Now let's go over the 7 steps. I'd personally take to make $8 million again from scratch in 2024 with the build and releasing of growth infrastructures. Now, to make this 10 times more applicable, I've decided that I won't be creating some new protocol on how to launch a BNR offer. Instead, I actually want to break down the 7 steps I took to build and scale my first offer past 600 grand a month and around $3 million cash collected in 15 months. First things first is growth thesis and unique mechanism creation. You will never make any meaningful money selling commodities. Let me repeat that. You will not make any meaningful money or fast enough selling commodities. As I was creating this training, actually, just put a deposit on a $300,000 Porsche GT3. And to be honest, I didn't even make the deposit. It's my right-hand man, Jill, who's running talent acquisition in CA, who took my Amex, paid $5,000 for a deposit to secure the car. And after 1 minute conversation with the sales rep, right? Now, for me, it was an interesting situation. I've been wanting the car for a long time, right? But so the sales guy calls him. He's like, "Hey guys, found the car, you know, blah 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 blah. You guys want to secure it?" And he's like, "Yeah, we'll take it." Right? And I'm like, isn't it crazy that they've built such a great product that I don't even have to make a decision on investing like $400,000? Like someone else is making a decision and it's a right decision. Like there's so much to learn about that than anything else, right? I want you to build something so unique that someone will take the credit card of your prospect and buy a $300,000 product on your behalf because they know that it's the right thing for your prospect. Okay? Until you build a unique mechanism, guys, you're not going anywhere. You might make money and survive, but we're not in this to survive. We're in this to thrive, right? Now, here are the steps I took to build a unique mechanism. But before I actually show you guys the steps, I want to show you guys the impact, okay? So as I told you guys, when I was running the done for you appointment setting, I was charging $750 a month all the way to like the most. I had like maybe someone who wanted like 2 VAs, like double the workload, and they would pay me maybe like $2,000 a month, 2.2K a month, which was good, right? But let me show you guys what ended up happening. Once I started selling it as an infrastructure, I looked at Stripe today or the other day when I was kind of like collecting. But look at how many people, look at how much money people have sent us, okay? 52K, 50K, 38 grand, 30K, 25K, 25K, 24K, 23K, 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 21K, 20K, 20K, 20K. Another row, 20K, 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 20K. Another row, 20K, 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 13K, 13 grand, 13 grand, 13 grand, 13 grand, 17 grand, blah, 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 blah. Some more, 14 grand, 14 grand, 14 grand, 14 grand, 13 grand, 13 grand, 15 grand, 16 grand, blah, 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 right? If I think one of these alone, there's like 20 rows in here, 20K, 20 times 20 is 400 grand. So this is 400 grand. This is probably 600 grand. This is probably another 400 grand. This is probably another 300 grand. This is probably another 350, 400 grand, 300 grand. Guys, you want to make millions? Skip the 1K a month bullshit or the 2K a month bullshit and make 15, 10K, 20K at a time. Right? Give yourself this quarter, give yourself 90 days. All you need to make $400,000 in a quarter is get 20 people. 20 people, guys. We have 276 people on this call right now. If less than 8% of you guys decided to work with us, as an example, let's say I would make 400 grand in a single day. That is how easy it is to make millions of dollars. The mistake a lot of you guys make is you guys think small. You're like, can I build a school community, a commoditized bullshit skill, right? And you go out there selling it for 3K a month. Or even worse, people are telling you that getting rev share is the best path. I'm crazy. To be honest, when I think about it, I'm like, how is it possible? Smart people lying to you guys that the way you're going to create financial freedom is by working for free. When I promise you guys saw me working on the freezer in the basement. People I spent time on that chair building this protocol to make this money. It wasn't like I built it in a penthouse and I had some Lamborghinis sitting in the background. No, it was built in the basement. Does that make sense? Actual solutions. It doesn't matter how good you look. It doesn't matter if you have muscles. Who cares? They just care. Can you show me how A, B, C, D gets me to the outcome I want to be? Okay, cool. Here's money. Here's 20 bands. Let's go. Okay. But this is the real outcome of what I'm trying to share with you guys today. Now, let me show you guys how I sourced these insights. Cool. The process around sourcing insights depends on where you're at, okay? So I'm gonna give you guys context. Some of you guys don't have much experience of dealing with the problems you want to solve. So what you should focus on is learn about the problems, then learn about the solutions. They both happen at the same time, luckily. But it is crucial for you to get depth in the pain first before you try to build any solution. When I was in that basement, I already knew the pain, okay? So because I personally went through the process while already dealing with the problems, so it was already easy for me to understand what we were dealing with and what were the real bottlenecks and the best solution. If you're already running an agency, a consulting business, coaching, people, it will be super easy for you to transform your service into an infrastructure and a protocol, as you already understand what it takes for you to grow your clients and business and businesses, and most importantly, what keeps them from scaling. So step number one, what I ended up doing is I kind of like sat down and I was like, okay, cool. What keeps my clients from not succeeding? I was like, cool. Well, a lot of them have gone through courses, right? And they don't actually have product market fit or service market fit, meaning they're selling something that one human told them was the right thing to sell, which is completely crazy to build a business. Imagine if you went to like an investor and you told him, hey, we're looking to raise money and I want to raise 50 million because Iman said I should start an agency for advertising. Or you go to like, hey, I read this Instagram guy with 600 grand followers. He said I should do growth operating for influencers. Can I get $1 million? They'd be like, are you like, what do you smoke? Right? That's not how you find product market fit. You find product market fit from the market, not the influencer. Okay? You go talk to people. They tell you, hey, I have this pain. I'm willing to transact with you and get the value. Okay, beautiful. Great job. You found product market fit, right? I knew that people had that thing confused. And the second thing, I knew that they lacked the volume of outreach required to generate leads and appointments. I knew they also lacked systems to nurture and convert leads into appointments. Back then, even 2020, it was super competitive in e-com, right? So a lot of my clients didn't have assets to nurture their prospects. And I also knew that they had a problem of not being able to communicate their value and create interest and curiosity in their prospect's mind. And they also couldn't sell to save their own lives. They were also selling commoditized services. So what I did was, step number one, I was like, okay, cool. Well, I need to figure out how to solve these problems for them. So I focused on agencies and e-com back then, right? Then I was like, okay, the next thing I need to do is find strategic insights. Strategic insights are really simple, more so things that relate to strategy, to positioning, not anything tactical. But I also needed to focus on finding tactical insights. I needed to know things that they don't know, but that helps them get results. And then from there, I needed to transform it into a mechanism, into a unique mechanism, right? And then from there, I had to create a niche specific growth thesis, which I'm about to walk you guys through real quick. So I picked a niche, which was e-commerce agencies, and I needed to source strategic insights. So what I did was I realized that I needed to understand the game better than my clients. So my job was to source insight for the from the e-com industry in general. So even though I was helping e-commerce agencies, I was actually going ahead and learning about e-commerce in general and brands, how we scale brands. So I would spend a lot of time listening to this podcast, right? And one of the insight that ended up making us a lot of money and our clients is back in a few years ago is I found this trend on organic UGC TikTok, right? And I'd leverage it to help my clients create offers. So let's say a Snapchat e-commerce agency would come to me, a Facebook ad agency would come to me, and I'd be like, hey, I've done my research and e-com like UGC is about to blow up. Let's please position ourselves with the trend. Okay. And so that was an example one. And that helped us. One of our clients ended up making like 65K a month in 7 weeks after he pivoted, after he had never been able to scale past 25K per month, right? But another thing that I also had was earned insights. So as I told you guys, I was working at an e-commerce company for 2 years, and I worked in customer service, but I also ended up leading a team of 14 people who were leading were customer service reps, right? And I had earned insights around how the business would, how when businesses would prospect and reach out through social media platforms, how we would handle the inquiry and send it to the right department and the right decision maker, right? So, and this is, I'm gonna tell you guys how I applied this. When I started the appointment setting agency, because I knew that even when you DM a brand on their social media, like a lot of carrybacks, Iman, all these guys who are pushing e-commerce courses were like, oh, never message people on their business page. But as someone who worked in the business that we were pitching, that was making 400, 500 million a year, I knew that even when you message them on social media, they actually end up forwarding it to the right department. So I literally built an appointment setting agency that focuses on outreaching through business pages. When everybody wasn't doing it, I was doing it, right? And people were confused. I was like, what the hell? How does that even make sense, right? So that's like one of the insights that I had. The next insight that I had was insights on leveraging $3 an hour VAs. So back then, I think I saw before quitting, after I left my job, I saw one of the ads from Ravi Abavala. Back then I was broke, just surfing on YouTube. And he was talking about virtual assistants. And I went down the rabbit hole. I watched his VSL. I didn't buy his stuff whatsoever. Instead, I ended up going and doing my own research. I ended up working with an agency from the Philippines that was selling LinkedIn outreach with VAs. I saw how they were doing it, okay? And I ended up firing them. And a few months later, I stole their process. I found my own way of sourcing VAs, and I built a VA talent sourcing process mechanism with Reg, who's still on this call. And as you guys can see, 2-3 years in, we had over 5,400 applicants of VAs that, of course, at first we were doing done for you management, but then we would place these VAs. Imagine, because we would charge like $15,000 every 2 VAs we placed. I have 5,400 VAs, guys. Do you know how much money that is? How much money is that actually? Fuck, I might have to go back to selling VAs, to be honest. Let's see. 5,400 divided by 2, 2,700 times $15,000. All right, I got a good $40 million right there sitting there. So if I ever go broke, guys, just know I got a good stash. I got some good value right there, right? But guys, this is literally it. I'm showing you guys how I came up with ideas on how to make money. This is nothing. I didn't have to go through a degree and become a master's and get my degree, my paper that showcases that I'm someone who can sit down and learn. No, what? Come on. I saw a VSL. By the end of the month, I had a VA agency. A month later, I had a VA operation. That's the level of execution you guys need to do. Okay. Now, let me show you how to actually found the workflow around doing outbound prospecting, because we were doing outreach, right? So in order for me to, so I had found the VAs, I had found the process on how to do reach out on Instagram to businesses. I had found the way to create offers, right? And insights and trends about different niches for my clients. But I also needed to understand outbound prospecting. Every single day, guys, I would go on walks and download a few podcast episodes, and I would just learn everything about outbound prospecting. I found this podcast. Back then it was called Outbound Secrets. Today it's called Hey First Name, an Insider Secrets Guide to Outbound Sales. I listened to so many of these guys, and it was so beautiful, right? All these agencies would come on and be like, hey, here's one of the best performing campaigns. We're doing this using this first line and this and that. Oh, we're doing this via sell. By the way, we're sending traffic to here instead. I'd be like, wow, this is amazing, right? And I was like, okay, cool. I'll add it to the protocol. Bye. That's it. Boom. Cool. Next thing, I learned how to do video sales letters from Nick Hosman, right? And of course, a lot of other people. I've read a lot of marketing books, Breakthrough Advertising, Jason Fladley, and blah, 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 right? So, but back then, it was really, hey, let me get a little bit of course from Nick. I got it for like $12 or $50. He was selling it for thousands of dollars back then. I saw his how he was doing his flow around outreach prospecting on LinkedIn. That was good. And then I also got insights into how to close from Sam Ovens and Nick, right? He was pretty good. And guys, I combined everything I just walked you guys through, and I built solutions for every single problem. For the lack of offers, I built a framework around building offers based on the trends. For the lack of volume of outreach, I knew that a VA could do 150 outreach a day. 2 of them could do 300 a day. Lack of systems, we would implement the CRM. Lack of the inability to communicate, I'll build a process selling VSL. Lack for them to sell, I have a proven sales script already pre-built for them. They're selling commodity services. I would leverage trends and look at trends to build the most in-demand services. Okay. Now, once you figure out how to solve these, then you need to understand how to prioritize what you're going to build first. Because just because someone buys from you doesn't mean they need all these things in the first week, right? So for us, with our clients and partners, we have built this mechanism around, it's a priority matrix that decides on the sequence of implementation. We look at 2 things: impact level of the thing you're going to implement and ease. We always start with the thing that has the highest impact and the thing that has that is the easiest to implement. And in whatever order comes first, the score here on the right dictates how we build it. So of course we would build our offer first because it's super impactful and it's pretty easy to do. The next thing we would do is place their setters to do outreach. The next thing we would do is make sure we can have a proven sales script. The next thing is VSL. And then the last thing would be the 63% to the CRM implementation. Like, who cares about a CRM, right? So that would be kind of like the order, right? And anything below 50% score, we would actually discard it. We wouldn't do it. And the next thing that is important to understand with build and release, a lot of people confuse this with just coaching or information. It is not that, right? It is actually a model that applies all the different fulfillment models. There is done for you, there's do it yourself, and then there is done with you, right? The most important things for us, the most important things to do would be done for you. So offer, as an example, built one-on-one, right? Because it's super impactful and super easy to do, right? Things like, let's say, like, let me see, what is an example? Like do some research on some like data or positioning, like they would do it themselves, right? But things like placement of talent, done for you. Why? Because we realized that even when we could just give someone like, hey, here are the VAs, place them in your company, that would never work. And like I told you before, it was my responsibility to make sure the client sees results. Even if I could have just give them access to all these 5,000 VAs and be like, hey, just choose and go run with it. I realized that 80% of people, even when you give them the platform, even the talent, they're not going to do anything with them. So what we do is we would train, vet, place, and audit their first week or 2 of working. And once they started actively generating results, then we would be like, okay, cool, you're good to run with it. Guys, if we had not done that, I don't even think I would have a business today because of how many people would just be saying, oh, you're a scammer, blah, blah, blah. So we realized that like there is risk in not making sure that a client actually succeeds. Does that make sense? So guys, do you guys see how I built my insights? Like literally, guys, that's how I found everything. It wasn't magical. It wasn't like I had to sleep under the sun and pray God every day. No, I literally would go on walks. I'd be like, okay, cool. I need to understand outbound. Go listen to podcasts, no courses, right? Just research. Okay, cool. Let's go to step two. Step two was building a process map and make a VSL around it. Okay. So once I built my hypotheses, right, on what it takes to solve my client's problems and the unique mechanism and the protocol, I needed to be able to communicate it to, I needed to be able to communicate the value to prospects and get feedback. So I leveraged Lucid charts to build my first process map. I don't know if you guys were following me back then, but this was what I kind of like built, right? So I had kind of like designed it in a way that hey, okay, cool. So here are the main two acquisition systems we'll implement in your business. First, you need to understand our six-figure outbound prospecting flow. Then we need to build your outbound prospecting assets. Then we need to pick and interview our VAs from our pool. Then we need to provide VA access to the training material. Then schedule them to shadowing sessions. Then we need to launch the outbound prospecting campaign. Then we get to review your campaign 2 weeks in. That was the first mechanism. The second mechanism was, and then here you can see, hey, 95% managed by a $3 an hour VA. So it's like I'm showing you the protocol, the process of doing outbound prospecting, but I'm placing a VA that does it for you, right? And then the second layer was learn how we leverage paid audiences, optimize your profile funnels, access recommended paid audiences, and find new ones following our process. Start generating traffic organically, leveraging our proven methods. Start building sales assets. Start conversations, and generate sales call. Right. The first one could easily generate an extra 5 to 10K per month, and in an MRR every 5 weeks, only costing you $200, $400 a month. Ooh, this is important. The reason why our VA operation was so good is because even though I was selling, charging like 8 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand, the actual cost to run the infrastructure was less than $1,000 a month. So a lot of people were paying a lot of money, but the ongoing cost post purchase of our thing was nothing meaningful. They were cool with it, right? And that's one of the reasons why this thing made us so much money. By the way, at the end, I'm going to give you guys the actual whole thing, okay? And then the second layer will cost it a little bit more, but it would get them. So I built this whole process map. I'm going to show you guys kind of like I ended up building a bunch of them because I was kind of like going after different crowds, right? So let me show you guys. Cool. So let me show you guys real quick. So this was the this was kind of like one that I was sending to agencies. So I kind of like mapped it all out here. We had the high ticket for coaches and consultants because they need a different process, right? But I just my day was spent on like, okay, how can I make sure that these people understand that we can not only implement this $400 a month acquisition system, then we can add this second one, then we can get them to solve their sales problems and also scale their sales team, right? So this is what I would go to them, and I would actually go ahead and just go crazy with them, right? I'll show you guys real quick. And then this is what it ended up looking like. Once I actually built the process map, okay, the next step was craft a VSL. This was my first process selling VSL back in 2020, like January of 2021. I was probably still sending this. Actually, it was October, December, November of 2020. Okay. As you guys see, 180 views, booked a shit ton of calls from this, by the way. That's how I went from 0 to 30K a month in 4 months. I was the only one doing outreach myself. I would just send these process selling VSL and I would make it rain. Okay. So map out the thing, shoot a 5 to 10 15 minute VSL, embed the calendar link, okay? Get 744 views, get 10% of them to convert, and that's all you need. You don't need $1 billion on ads. Nothing. I didn't need that, at least when I was starting out, okay? So that's what it ended up becoming, okay? Cool. Perfect. So That's literally it, guys. So you map it all out. You make a process selling VSL. You sell them the protocol, the process, okay? And then you just sit down and wait for calls. Now, does that make sense now? Is it clear on once you have your offer, what you should do next? Yeah, you'll get access to the Lucid chart if you paid for the Webby, of course. All right, cool, perfect. Now, step 3. So, guys, this is how easy it is to make money. It is literally that easy. Listen to some podcasts, get on a process map, and then step 3 is generate some attention on your video, right? So here's the next thing. Generate attention and sales calls for your protocol and growth infrastructure. Today, every client and partner we work with leverage ads, but back then I was only leveraging outreach. So I was doing outbound prospecting, organic marketing, preferably in Facebook groups. I still think today Facebook groups is still one of the best places to prospect if you're starting out and have no money, right? And the prospecting workflow was really simple. I would source leads in groups, I would engage with them, I would find their inefficiencies in their current business and their current process. I would send the value with the processing VSL. So I would be like, hey, how are you currently going about generating leads, appointments? And they tell me, oh, I'm doing cold email. I'd be like, oh, hey, by the way, I have this new protocol that we're leveraging for us and for our clients. You want to see it? They'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, why not? Send them, boom. They'd be like, oh shit, this is actually pretty sick. And it only costs $400 a month, $500 a month. Please, I need it right now. And I would offer a walkthrough, right? And one of the things that I'm going to share with you guys is, once you guys get access to this doc, is you guys are actually going to be accessing the prospecting flow that we were using. Okay. I don't want to go through it right now. It would be way too long, but you guys get all of this. Now, what was the outcome? As you guys can see here, we booked over 1,000 sales calls. Nothing complicated, guys. Do research, build a new protocol process around solving a problem for a niche, make it on Loom, document it, send it to DMs, send it to 100 people a day, get 5, 10 of them to want to book a call with you. That's how you get 1,000 calls. This, guys, I think maybe for those who follow me, but until last year, end of 2023, I had probably spent less than 25 grand on ads in total, right? We've collected, by then we had collected over $4 million, right? The reason why I only spent 25 grand on ads is because I was so profitable with outbound prospecting that I didn't need ads, right? Although that, looking back, was pretty dumb. I should have spent more money because I had just way too much money sitting there. But you can make so much money. If you're selling something novel, a new protocol that other people have not seen, people will want to get on a call. The reason why people don't want to book sales calls with you guys is because you guys are selling the same bullshit that everyone is selling. What I was sending in that Loom was something I came up with. I didn't get it from Iman. I didn't get it from Nick Osman. I didn't get it from anyone. Literally, I created my own unique mechanism. And that deserves, guys, I can't tell you how much when you have something unique. Like the old problem of like, I can't book sales calls is because your offer is, there's no sophistication in what you sell. You're just like everybody else, right? And once it was optimized, this is what it looked like. I'll show you guys real quick. So once it was optimized, this is what it looked like. So we had the flow here to do outreach, the doc here. We booked 1,000 calls with it. I had all the assets to track the data from outreach. I could compare WhatsApp and paid ads. I mean, this is some new stuff that we're using. But you have the tracking here. You have the daily KPIs for the setters. And then you also have the automation to track. You have also the setter playbook that I had built. Okay. So this is what it ended up becoming. It ended up becoming its own little beast that I could leverage to just scale setter teams without needing to do it myself, right? Boom. Cool. Now, let's go into step 4. How I was actually selling these growth infrastructures over the phone. First things first, pre-call, sequence, and nurturing content. Before the prospect show up on sales calls, it is crucial for them to have the conviction that you are the best person to work with and that your protocol is the best for their situation. So I had designed a sequence that goes over why people work with us. One of the things that our partners and incubator clients get is this process around creating a story for your business and creating, anyway, if you guys ever become incubator clients, you guys are going to get this. It's this thing where it's like, it goes over like, who is our ideal client? What is the best before state? What is the after state? Our competitive edge, market and customer problems, and how you go about solving them, right? So I had built like 10 videos, 10 short videos, not long ones. And people would just get a dump. You could also put all of them in one video if you want, right? They had to see this before. So they had this sequence that goes down to them. The sales script and the metrics close, which we call the Google Doc close, was really simple. The sales script had 4 parts: introduction, gather information about their business, inefficiencies, constraints, and metrics, acknowledge the gaps, walkthrough of the unique mechanism and infrastructure on how you solve those and how you elevate those constraints. And if you guys ever get into the incubator, you guys are going to get access to this advanced sales training. Or if you guys ever become a partner, if you become a partner, we'll just place a closer. We don't waste time with training you on sales. Guys, if you're shitty at closing, go get a closer, right? Just move on, right? And then ROI justification. Okay, so this is something that a lot of people don't understand. It is important to be able to justify the ROI of the infrastructure. You cannot just go to someone and be like, oh, it's 15 grand because Serge says it's 15 grand. For us, what we did was we collected data from every infrastructure we ever implemented for clients and could easily share the averages. Let me show you guys real quick. This is something that, although tedious, was such a no-brainer when we were selling it. And some of you lucky ones are going to get access to this, so it's going to be good. So let me show you guys. So we had designed this thing where this was like our foundational sheet. Wait, where is it? So look at how many clients we had built and released infrastructures for. It was insane. Okay. So I'll just keep scrolling. All these are businesses that we had built infrastructures for, and we had all placed setters for. So that means that we had access to the performance of their campaigns. So when I say that building or releasing is one of the greatest things you can do for yourself, I really mean it. Imagine when I would go on sales calls and be like, hey, I'm overseeing, I mean, I couldn't even count it. And by the way, guys, you don't make $8 million by not doing nothing. Like, you're not going to sell a course and be like, oh, I made $8 million. No. You're gonna make it because you actually have undeniable value, right? So let me show you guys an example. Wait, this one doesn't have anything. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Let's just see this one. So we had all these campaigns going, and we had access to all the prospecting that was being done. So I could go back to, okay, Kimani, who was he targeting? And then I could track the conversion rates. And I could look at all the niches that he's going after. And I could easily go after, oh, hey guys, this is the data we have about smartphones, blah, 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 blah. And on a sales call, I'd be like, hey, I have access to all these campaigns, all these accounts, all these businesses that are looking for clients. I know what works for them. So when you buy the thing, you're not just buying the VA. You can go on onlinejobs.ph and get a VA for $65, right? But what you will not get is insights into all these campaigns. Okay. So when I talk to people like, hey, collect data, this is what I mean by you need to have eyeballs into so much things that when you get on a sales call and you're like, hey, it costs 15 grand. Why does it cost 15 grand? Because we have access to more data that will cost you millions of dollars for you to actually uncover. Not even money. The time for you to consume all the knowledge from all these campaigns would take you 3 years. So you're not just buying the systems, You're buying the time of consuming all this knowledge and the iteration we've gone through to perfect all these campaigns. Okay? And that's the difference between build and release and an info. So as an example, guys, you tell me, give me a name, anyone in our industry on YouTube who has data on their clients' offers or acquisition campaigns. You guys tell me, who here, I mean, let's say I'm a guru. Who has shown you guys this much assets around their clients? Let's say they've made more 20 million, 50 million. They all say they've made money, right? From telling you that they've made money. But just because I've made money doesn't actually mean nothing. I've made money because I can market. But the true underlying value of their business has to be like, it has to be tangible value. Not because you're not buying Serge when you work with us. I mean, maybe if I become Chris Brown, you might buy my songs, but I'm not selling myself to you. I'm selling you guys what works for a lot of businesses, right? And that is the reason why in the world where I could go out there and sell a $2,000 course, I wouldn't, because what makes me better than anybody else that I can compete with is the fact that I own so much more than just my knowledge. I own hundreds of companies worth of what makes them successful. And that's what commands price. That's what makes us unique. And that's what I would love every one of you guys who's, whether that be solar, whether that be HVAC, whether that be lawyers, it doesn't matter what niches you guys are in. When we work together, like at least when we end up partnering up together, this is the stuff we want you guys to own. Don't just be a YouTuber. Because at the end of each day, anybody can get a webcam, anybody can talk shit. How many people have you guys seen steal my Lucy charts and go on to becoming acquisition.io? The amount of .ios that are out there in the market are insane, right? Growth this, growth that, client this, client a blah, right? But it's like, yeah, you can copy my website, but that's not what makes me me. Does that make sense? So guys, in a world where people can copy your knowledge, go somewhere where they will not go. Build a Google sheet, something boring, right? And I'll actually show you guys how we were actually tracking this. I'll show you guys something real quick. So because we had so many sheets, we couldn't actually read the data like that, like I just showed you guys. So what we had is we actually had built these checking sheets, right? Reg, if you can help me find it, master checking. Actually, I should have it somewhere here. Okay, cool. This is the one. So let me show you guys how we would look at the data. So what we did is we would put all the campaigns side by side and would sync them into these checking. So like this is the 5th checking file. So we had a lot of them. So we would put all these companies all together one by one. And by the way, guys, these are not done for you clients. It's not like we were done for you appointment setting, but because we were the company that built and released this infrastructure, we were the best ones to be able to analyze their data better than them, right? Justin Lalonde, I'm sure you guys know Justin. He also, we also built and released an appointment setting infrastructure for him. And then we had all these companies, and we would look at their data, right? And that allowed us to be able to just see a lot of what was happening a lot faster. Okay. Cool. So Charlie Morgan just showcased his reps calendars full of appointments. Yeah, this is the thing, guys. So I'll be honest. Me showing you how I'm getting rich, it won't help you. Does that make sense? So me showing you how many sales calls is on my calendar, it has no value for you because it's me. It's my business. It's not your business. So what does, and also the problem with this online space, especially on YouTube, especially people who are selling agency stuff, is I'm selling you on how I'm selling you on selling people of you. Like, does that make sense? I'm showing you calendars of you on my calendar. So I'm selling you on you how to get calendars, how to get on calendar. Like, does that make sense? It's a weird marketing tactic. All these guys, they're selling you. It's like coaches coaching coaches on how to coach coaches. It's a weird place. It's a cycle that only reflects itself. Like it feeds itself, right? But someone just mentioned Airtable. Yeah, now we use actually Airtable. We don't use Google Sheets anymore. But I'll show you guys someday, another day, right? But guys, don't believe anyone who showcases how they're making money, because show them infrastructures that you would leverage. Don't buy from them because they have sales calls, right? That's stupid, right? Anyway, and we use the Google Doc pitch method. And then based on the client's offer pricing, I could easily showcase that with 2 VAs doing total of 300 outreach, we could provide them a return in less than 4 weeks on their initial investment. And I would use it. It was a logical sale. It wasn't an emotional sale. It wasn't like, hey, aren't you tired of being broke? Aren't you tired of doing outreach yourself? I was like, hey, you're going to run this for $500, $1,000 a month. It's going to do 300 outreach a day. You're buying that. You're not buying the fact that I have dreads. You're not buying the fact that I look good. You're buying the fact that you're going to get productivity. And people can't argue with productivity, right? Cool. And then the deal structure was really simple. We were charging anywhere from 12K to 15K. Incentive-based pricing, if they want to pay up front, we would say, hey, just, drop a little 10 grand and we'll build and release this in the next 4 weeks. By the way, it took us less than 4 weeks to implement this. And we had 3 months, 4 months of management of just looking at their data and giving them suggestions on what to tweak. So technically, people were paying 15 grand for 4 weeks of work. It wasn't though the timeline was like 4 months, 6 months. It wasn't like we're working 6 months of time. No. We're not selling our time. We're selling 4 weeks, building and implementing a lot of the things. And a lot of it was built once and released many of times, right? So, and then if they wanted payment plans, we could break it up over 2 to 4 payments, right? And then conditional guarantee. We would give everyone a guarantee, right? Because $15,000 is still a lot of money. So we'd be like, hey, you need to leverage 2 acquisition channels. You need to leverage 2 VAs. They need to hit 300 hours per day. You need to send the process selling VSL in less than 48 hours after the prospect has requested it. You need 3 pieces of content on your socials, and you need to build your own community, right? If you implement the above for 90 days straight and don't make your money back, if you're an agency owner, you make 5K a month or times 3 months, that wouldn't make your money back. Or high ticket coaching, high ticket info business, you get 3 customers at 5K. If you don't get them, we'll refund you and keep supporting you for another month for free of charge. Okay. And this kind of like made it sense. It's like, hey, you're going to do all the work, build my team, show them how to do the thing, and they're going to implement the thing. I literally don't have to do anything other than create the content, right? And the community. And if they hit these targets and I don't make the money back and I don't make the money back, then you can refund me. Oh, it's a no-brainer. Let's get to work, right? So this one was a great guarantee, and we recommend all our partners to have one. Not that you have to, but it's good, right? Because the only reason why they won't get a refund is if they don't actually meet the KPIs or meet the conditions. So I'm protecting myself because I know that if you do 300 hours a day consecutively for 90 days, there's no way you're not gonna make your money back. And the only time I'm at risk is if you don't do it. And if you don't do it, I already signed in the agreement that, hey, you're not going to get it. Okay. And by the way, we have all the tracking sheets. So we have the data. So they couldn't just come to me and be like, oh, I want my money back. I'd be like, okay, no worries. Please show me the numbers. Show me the numbers. We had clients who genuinely showed us numbers, and we would be like, okay, you did the work. Cool. Here's your money back. Thank you. But that was like 0.001% of people who asked for refunds. Most of them never did the work. So therefore, we wouldn't refund them. We would refund them sometimes if it's like, maybe it's like they just signed up, but they have an emergency. Cool, here's your money back. Because we also don't want to ruin our brand for 10 grand. Like, I don't want to sacrifice 100 million for the fact that I don't want to refund 10 grand. Okay. Now, once I mapped out all these things, started selling myself, I don't suggest anyone sells themselves. Even incubator clients, we don't recommend to sell themselves, because today I realized that like selling is just, it takes too much time. But back then I sold it myself, sold like 5 of them, 6 of them, made 40K a month, and I got a closer in place. So I delegated 60 days into launching this offer. I already had a closer. And I built a playbook on scaling them. And the beauty of selling a build and release offer is that it's super easy to understand. Therefore, it's pretty easy to delegate to a closer. So we built up this closer ramp up process, right? And by the end of it, this is what it looked like. I'm going to show you guys real quick. So by the end, this was what I was running my sales team with. Really simple. So really simple. Make sure you have the sales script. Make sure you have the kind of like the content that explains why you're the best. Make sure you have the advanced sales training. I use this to help them make 40K a month, my closers, while they're making me $500,000 a month. You need sequences on GHL. You need systems to track the end of day reports, how much they collected. You need trackers, and you need CRM, and you need the conditional guarantee, and you need the playbook, right? This alone, boom, you can build a sales team that brings you $1 million or $5 million a year. It was super easy, nothing complex. Okay. Cool. How did you provide this guarantee given that you don't have control over niche and sales closing? We gave them everything. So we realized for sure sales was definitely an issue, and that we realized if we would have done it again, I would have solved sales for them, because selling is the biggest. Now, does it make sense how we got close, how we got people closed, and is it clear, guys? Let me know in the chat. I'm trying to go fast so that we can make sure we finish everything, okay? So we charge up front, but let's say the guarantee is 90 days. Do we just monitor until they hit it, or charge a retainer until they hit it? So that's the reason why. So I've kind of like going through a lot of this stuff already, right? So so I didn't necessarily plan on all the models, but yeah, we do have a way to charge, right? So like I've gone through it a lot before, so I'll show you guys real quick. So the way you price this service, okay, I'm going to show you guys real quick, is that the monetization model is really different from build and release, right? It's a little different from what a lot of people do in the traditional sense. Oh, fuck, where is it? And I'll explain it with the way that McKinsey charges, okay? So McKinsey is probably the largest consulting business that has ever existed. A few years back, they changed from selling consulting to selling hard asset. So the way they do it is they'll come into the business, they'll implement advice, judgment. So they, instead of before, they were selling consulting, judgment, and self-deliverables, like little assets and things like that. But today, what they do is they implement hard assets. So they'll implement like a software and then pair it with consulting, right? And today, out of their $10 billion a year in revenue, 70% of it is recurring. So they charge a lot of money up front, like millions of dollars for like 90 days. But on the back end, they retain you on the software or on the management. So that's kind of like what we personally do. What I've personally seen works really well is you come into a business, you implement a methodology, so the protocol, and then you implement tangible assets, talent, SOPs, systems, or softwares, right? You bundle that up front, you charge 10 grand, 15 grand, 25 grand or more. And then on the back end, because like I just showed you guys, if I'm the guy who has access to all this data, would you want me not to be available to tell you what's working? Even if I charge you like 2 grand a month? Of course you would want me to be around for $2,000 a month, because for $2,000 a month, I'm going to give you access to insights and more like faster feedback loops than it would take you. Like I have access to 200 businesses that are doing the same thing exactly as you. I know who's succeeding fast. So for the fact that I have more eyes on a lot more things than you do, you pay me 2 grand so I can feed you back insights that I'm seeing from 200 businesses every month. So that's how we retain them. We retain people on insights, more systems, and community. So the front end offer is like $5 to $10 million a year business, right? But the back end can also become a $5 million a year recurring. And that's what kind of like Gym Launch did. I'm going to go on a tangent real quick, but I think for those who never saw this, I think it's important. So the way that Gym Launch did it is they would go to, so Gym Launch, I think I should have it here. Gym Launch. Okay, cool. So here's it. So Gym Launch, I showed you guys the front end offer, which was the $16,000 program, right? But what I didn't show you for those who are new is that they actually took all the businesses they had built the infrastructure for and they pushed them into a back end offer, which was, hey, by the way, now that you have a company, a growth infrastructure that's working really well, you're going to still need to improve it month after month. You're going to need new ads. You're going to need new messaging. You're going to need all this. Oh, by the way, for 3.2K per month, we can give you access to over $100,000 worth of research and hundreds of companies worth of efforts. Would you mind paying us $3,000 a month to be in our community? And every month we're going to drop something exciting that helps you see results faster. Guys, they had over 500 to 1,000 people paying them $3,000 a month. It is insane. It is ridiculous, right? And that is the beauty that a lot of people don't understand is that when you charge a lot of people up front, it anchors them at a high fee enough where you can sell them something on the back end to retain them. And it can be leveraged. Like they were making $1 million, or 2 million, 3 million a month just on the back end. Forget the front end offer that they made a lot of money with. The back end was really what made them a business that has a lot of enterprise value. Does that make sense to the person who asked the question? Let me know in the chat. Beautiful. Okay, cool. So that's the business. That's the business model. It's front end, sell them a growth infrastructure that solves all their problems. But what you're doing is you're building a customer base. Like for me today, I'm not going to lie. I probably think by next summer, we're probably going to be doing $1 million a month recurring by the first of the month. Not $1 million a month by the end of the month, but my goal is to make $1 million by the first. Just like the time I'm about to pay rent, I'm about to pay insurance, I'm about to pay my car payments, I need $1 million in the bank. And the only way for you to do that is to have people who've bought cars from you in the first place. Does that make sense? That's how every business works. Whether that be homes, cars, every single industry that is big, they get you in for a high payment and they lock you in on a monthly. Does that make sense? We want to model $1 trillion industries because they've already figured it out. Okay, cool. Perfect. Now let's go into onboarding. When I started building and releasing growth infrastructures, I had no systems in place and no process whatsoever. And this is something a lot of you guys need to understand. Even though I went through podcasts, even though I knew VSLs and this and that, I had nothing, no tangible assets that when you paid me, you would get, right? So what I used to do was I would get the prospect to pay, I would send them an agreement, and I would onboard them on Slack, right? Today we use Discord because I didn't want to pay $800 a month. And then I would schedule the onboarding session 48 hours later. And this manual process sustained me until I sold a good $40,000 worth of infrastructures, which allowed me to onboard my first systems integrator to build my onboarding funnels and onboarding systems and sequences. And without the following onboarding infrastructure that I'm about to walk you guys through, it's probably impossible to scale as you'll spend a whole month onboarding 5 clients, right? And this is the old reason why agencies don't scale. Like I showed you guys on theory of constraints. If your onboarding cannot handle a lot of clients, you're not going to make a lot of money, right? So let me show you guys what it looked like. So everything was automated on one funnel. Let me show you guys what it looked like. So we had put everything on here. So when you're like, hey, Serge, okay, cool. Let's just give me the invoice. I'll spend that thing. Let's go, right? Clients from India would be happily willing to send me $10,000. Here's the email they got. Done for you, $500,000 systems implementation program, 15 grand or 5K per month to get started for 3 months. Then they would get the agreement. Boom, 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 boom. Everything was signed. Then they would sign the agreement. Boom. And then from there, this was the onboarding form. They had fill out this out. Boom, boom, boom. Give me questions. Give me data about your business. Join the group. let me know. Onboarding videos, we needed them to have, were already merged in the actual onboarding. You know, things that I needed them to understand were already also a few videos. Boom, 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 boom. And then we had some flows. And then from there, once they gave me the data about their business, and then they would book a clarity session, right? And the sequences were here. Everything was automated, by the way. So we had multiple invoices and different that, blah, 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 blah. And then they would see this thank you video. The thank you video, I'm showing you guys what it looks like today, but this is because I don't have a screenshot of what the community looked like when we were starting out. But right now in GCP, this is kind of like what it looks like. We still do the same thing, by the way. So when you jump in, you get access to your one-on-one channel. You get access to a growth consultant, sales consultant, VA specialist. Of course, for you guys, it won't look like this when you're starting out. And then you also have other community channels, right? And then you also have, you know, different systems feedback. You can send in reports, you know, let our systems integrators review some of the things that are breaking in your business. And this is what it looked like. Guys, I can't tell you, if you want to make 100 grand in a day, this will do it. Have everything automated. Please do not send a manual agreement. Do not send an onboarding form on a different link. Do not, no. Every single thing needs to be click a button, click another button, click button, 5 buttons clicked, boom, you're done. Here is, you get onboarded for the $15,000 you spent, right? And this allowed me to handle so much more volume, and I didn't have, and the beautiful thing is that when we're kind of like organizing this, we're making sure that the client has enough clarity that they're happy that they paid a lot of money. A lot of you guys have your things on a Google Doc or in some bullshit like doc. Like, no, make everything look good. Okay, cool. Perfect. So let me go through this real quick. Also, by the way, can we get Wyatt and Miguel and all the clients who wanted to kind of like do an interview if they can jump in later? That would be cool. Towards once I'm finished presenting, that would be cool. Clients happy to be on Discord or Slack? I think you can move. You can depend. We have our clients are happy on Discord. Once I moved a prospect's card on GHL, they received an email with the link to pay. The agreement was embedded on GHL, and they could sign it there. The onboarding form could be filled in the funnel. Once they fill out the form, they had book a call in the next 24 hours. So I know I said when I was starting out, it had take 48 hours to get onboarded. Today, when you become a partner, join GCP, you need to book your onboarding call in 24 hours, because we realize that when someone spends 15 grand with you, it is crucial to provide them quick wins in less than 24 hours. So we started making it mandatory for you to make sure you get onboarded in the next 24 hours. From there, you have agencies that are like, oh yeah, pay the invoice, we'll get you onboarded in a week. Yeah, right. Good luck keeping that client. From there, they get a welcome video to learn. And then with this system, we could close 10 people in a single day and it wouldn't bother us whatsoever. Okay, so that was onboarding for the build and release. Now, let me show you guys fulfillment. Same thing as onboarding. It is important to understand that when I sold my first infrastructure that I had nothing built out, I just sold the process and I started documentation as I went, right? So if someone needed clarity on the offer, then it led me to building the offer creation framework. If they need to communicate their offer, then it led me to building a sales letter framework and process selling via sell. If they needed to craft their outreach campaign, the messaging, then it led me to building a framework for that, right? Everything was built on a week-to-week basis as I implemented it for my clients. This is something that we get every person who's working with us to understand. You don't have to be perfect at first. Just make sure that on a week-to-week basis, you're building and releasing something new to the client. Many of you here will spend months figuring out what is perfect thing to do to deliver to your clients, not understanding that it's only from serving them and talking to them that you acquire the insights to build the best product. If you're already running a done-for-you agency, then it's pretty easy to start building documentation. But I also recommend waiting until you're delivering a build and release to start documentation and building things, right? I realize that the client will tell you how they want something, and it allows you to build it from their perspective. So the fulfillment journey looked really simple. In week 1, we would provide clarity on their offer and their acquisition systems. We'll build and the talent will place. In week 2 and week 3, we'll build and launch most of the infrastructure, right? In week 4, we'd start looking at data and tweaking things like messaging, outreach, channel, optimizing profiles, and improving the process selling via sales and increasing volume, right? And this is really it. Phase 1, provide them clarity. Phase 2, build and launch the new infrastructure. And then phase 3, just optimize, collect data, see if they're in KPI. If they're not, do more. If they are, tell them to do more. If they're not, give them an optimization plan and get them back to implementing, okay? And the fulfillment assets we built here were, worksheets, talent management base, project management base, data collection base, protocol, and content, okay? And just to show you guys what it ended up looking like, let me show you. Boom, 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 boom. So fulfillment looked something like this. Started out all simple. Like I showed you guys, the G sheets, right? Today we don't use this, right? We use Airtable. I can show you guys that if you want. And then, we had the VA base, which is here. This also ended up moving it to Airtable. And then we had the project management base. Today we have it on ClickUp. So every client, every partner has access to every single thing we're doing in their business. And then we had these checklists, the launch checklist, kind of like everything here. And then we had the tracking sheets, everything here. So the VAs could track their work. And here's something that is important. Once I was done with the implementation, I had enough clients, I ended up building a full out blown course on how we do everything. Let me show you guys. So every single thing was mapped out. But if I try to be like, oh, I'm gonna wait to build all this, well, what are you gonna build based on what? You have no context, right? So I didn't build this before, I built this after, okay? And I ended up creating a roadmap. So I knew step by step what was required to build a 50K a month outbound prospecting infrastructure with VAs. And people would pay me a lot of money to go through this step by step. Okay. So technically, once you've done your build and release, you need to end up with an action plan or roadmap to get your clients results consistently. And you're going to need for sure content documentation so you don't always repeat yourself. But you're going to also be needing to collect data, implement a lot of this, and you're going to need a lot of project management skills and everything like that. Okay. Guys, keep your questions in the chat. We're gonna get to the Q&A right after. But guys, this is what it looked like operationally to fulfill. So I had the trackers, I had the project management infrastructures, I had the data collection systems, and I had the action plan. That is it. And I believe this is the only path to making $500,000 per month. And it comes from standardizing everything. It wasn't like a client would tell me, hey, Serge, I need to do ads. No. You do what I tell you to do. Or you can go work with an agency. Every single step was the same from point A to point B. From action point 1 all the way to 26, they were already laid out. So it would be week 1, 1 through 5. Week 2, 5 through 15. Week 3 and 4, all the rest, right? If your process to getting clients results is not standardized, you're not going anywhere. There's no scaling, right? Every single variable was mapped out and it has to be done the same way every single time. We didn't try to innovate. We made tweaks on the infrastructure to improve it marginally. Simple scales, fancy fails, and incremental changes led to simplicity, right? Now, I'm about to walk you through how I improved the machine over time, okay? So in summer of 2021, when I launched this infrastructure, this outbound with VAs, I didn't launch it at $15,000. That would have been insane. Okay. It took me 12 months of iteration to get to a point where I was comfortable charging 15 grand. This last step is to show you how I turned a $4,000. I think I first sold it for like 4K offer into $15,000 in less than a year. Okay. So first things first, I realized that since I wasn't personally managing the campaigns or the setters, it was impossible for me to know how the infrastructure was performing. So that led me to wanting to collect data about everything. Profiles that they're using for outreach, VSL data, outreach campaign data. On a weekly basis, I review data from clients who sent it in. Not everyone will send it in, of course. We still do it till this day. Even our partners, they have to send in data weekly. Even members of the inner circle and the incubator, we like to get them to send in data because this is how we know what works, right? It's our clients who feed us the truth. It's not us who know the truth, capital T. It's we get it from working, okay? And then I found the best performing campaign in businesses. I studied what made them different. I took what was working for them and added it to my protocol and our fulfillment process. Example, when we started out, we would only place one VA, but it wasn't enough volume. We realized that the best campaigns were doing around 200 hours per day. So if I get the data that, hey, only people doing 300 or more are succeeding, then I'm gonna make it so that every single client who ever worked with us gets 2 VAs so they can meet the requirement of success, which was 300 hours a day. We did this for countless of variables in that process. And over time, it became really fucking good. So once I added the new process and tested with a few clients, I had to then create new content in the program to share with every single client because we were getting 20, 30 clients a month, guys. So we were getting a lot of clients really fast, right? So I couldn't just send it to everyone all at once, but I could create content and then send it to everyone else. To facilitate implementation for our clients and new clients, we built new systems. I'd also build a new process map to visually represent the update in our protocol. And the last step was I had to go sell the improvements. So what did I do? I went through step 1 again. I made a process selling VSL. I made a process map, and I would go ahead and share it. So let me show you guys this last step and show you guys what it looked like. Cool. So let me show you guys this. Step 7, this is how you go through iteration. So step number 1, learn to collect data. So as you guys can see here, this is still in GCP, literally clients that we're working with right now. We still on a week-to-week basis, hey, please take 3 minutes to fill out weekly report form. And this is what it looks like. Boom, boom, boom. And then this is what it looks like on Airtable. So we don't use the tracking sheets anymore. We use Airtable. So every single week, we have 48 businesses that send in how many leads they generated, how many calls scheduled, how many show up, right? How much money spent on ads, right? And this is dependent on offer, right? So then what we do next is we'll look at the data, we look at what's working, okay? And then we turn this action plan here, okay? And this process map. So this is the old one. This is the old one. The new process map becomes this one. Instead of using this action plan here, we put it on a project management base like this one, right? Every client has access to this now. And we track every single thing step by step. And anything that works that is new, we're like, hey guys, we just launched some new updates on scaling, retargeting, how to done sell, static ad framework, video ad framework, Google Doc pitch, creating the pitch, how to pitch, objection handling pitch, right? And then from that, the process map goes from this and it becomes this, right? It becomes a more complete version where we're looking at the offer, how they're getting attention, how they're owning attention, how they're educating people, how they're converting them, and how they're fulfilling. And we map out everything. Okay? And then once I have these two, right? Of course, I'm going to collect wins. So we're going to collect, like, as an example, like the wins that I showed you guys when I started this Webby. I'm going to collect a bunch of them. I'm going to make a new VSL, 30 minutes. Then I'm going to be like, hey guys, put a spend on ads. And I'm going to be like, hey guys, put it on YouTube. And then, well, you launch some ads. Then you book 20 calls in a day, 27 calls actually, 27 calls a day, 27 calls the next day. Okay. And then that's how you end up making 30K a day, 47K a day. That's how you end up getting people wiring you $18,000, $11,000, $4,000 in like fucking 10 minutes, right? And you make 170K a week. Guys, this is it. 7 simple steps to making, I mean, it's not even making money at this point. It's like to just being free. Okay? This is what it takes to be free. It's not easy. Like I just showed you, it's not like, oh, go get a contractor and you're gonna do this. No. It's not as easy, but I make it seem easy, but it's simple, but it's easy. It takes a lot of time. But I mean, like I said, we're not trying to do what everybody can do, right? But this is what it looked like. Okay. And this is what allowed a lot of people to make me feel comfortable in charging a lot of money. Right. So cool. Perfect. Now let me show you guys the next thing. And yeah, guys, these 7 steps led to $8 million in revenue in the last few years. And I don't know about you guys, but if I was selling a $1,500 a month service as an agency owner, I probably would have died before making 8 million. If I was selling $2,000 courses, people would have called me a scam and the FTC would have came after me. And if I was same thing, coaching on appointment setting or like people just do coaching. Like I don't understand, especially in our space, because it's so competitive. Like you have no argument to keep you that it does. You have no reason to stand out. Literally nothing, right? All of these paths are almost impossible unless you want to spend your whole life before you make any life-changing revenue, of course. You can spend the whole life trying to get this. You're going to get there, but that's not the point. And just to show you guys the impact of this process, out of the $8 million that you guys see here, only 300 grand, 400 grand was made in 2021. So most of the 8 million was made in the last 24 months, in the last 2 years. And the year before I made 12K. So I made 12K in 2020, made like 400 grand, then a switch to build and release. And I mean, shit, then you end up with $8 million, right? I don't know. I mean, and this is why I'm like, guys, I did not become 8 million times more smarter than I was when I was making this money or when I was making 12K in 2020. Literally nothing. All that changed was how I was applying the knowledge I had. And this is the thing I'm trying to get as many people to do. I'm not saying this is some like math equation. This is not calculus. This is a lot simpler than calculus. I actually failed calculus, right? But I promise you, everyone here on this call has knowledge that they can turn it into an infrastructure and go change your life, right? And this is how Gym Launch did it. Gym Launch, I'll actually show you guys the Gym Launch protocol. Gym Launch had this whole thing on mapped out on here. So they essentially figured out that, hey, here are the 3 levels of gyms. Level 1, guys or girls making 20K a month or less with their gym, with a few staff making 3K a month profit or so. Level 2 gym, they have 250 members making 250K a month, making, let's say, 57K a month in profit. 50K a month. Level 3 gym, 400 members or more, making around 15K profit a month. And then they realized what are the main problems for each gym. Their level 1 was acquisition. Level 2 was acquisition and churn. Level 3 was churn, expansion, and team. And what they did, and this is where things get, this is where I want to kind of like make it seem simple, but it's not simple, right? But all they did was learn how to solve client acquisition with a few things. Client acquisition, client at finest acquisition, meaning you charge high ticket, your client pays for your next clients, lead gen systems, nurturing systems, and the perfect sales process. Boom. That's it. You just solved Gym 1 problems. Then you go on to the next one. Solving the churn problem. You design their client journey. You show them how to get them results. You show them how to convert them into other things. And you show them how to retain them. Map it out. And then the next thing is figure out how to expand revenue. Show them or teach them how to acquire more clients, ascend more clients, resell more clients, and show them a new model of monetizing their clients. Show them how to do different types of training, semi-private, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I read Gym Launch a long time ago, so I don't remember everything. How to sell supplements. Sell them supplements and sell them hybrid programs. If they have these 3 layers of products, they can ascend, acquire more customers, ascend more people, resell more people. And then show them how to build teams. Show them how to do marketing for employees. Show them how to get referrals. Show them how to communicate with their employees, right? And then the last one, show them macro business models, right? Gym Launch did not create these truths, these frameworks. Hormozy just spent a lot more time sitting down reading books than most gym owners. And then he went ahead and built a protocol. He applied it for them and proved it, and they would just sell it for 16 grand. Right? And this is the thing I want you guys to understand. It's not like Hormozy sat down and like did some magic to understand how to retain people. Right? It's either from doing it or from reading or from sourcing knowledge, which is something that we all can do. It's free. It's just not free. It just takes your time, right? And that's something that I want you guys to see. It's like, this is how they made a lot of money. This is how you make $17 million from scratch in 12 months, right? Literally, go research, build the best protocol, growth infrastructure for a specific niche, go sell it for 15K each. This is the new path to get rich in a sophisticated way, a way that can't be easily copied for beginners. The old idea of running a one skill focused agency or coaching, like all you do is like, I've seen people who do like IG funnel ads, like they're literally, their main business is I can do IG funnels. So can the kid who just purchased a $37 a month subscription on how to start an agency from Iman just did, or from the kid that just watched a 12-minute video from a YouTuber who's trying to sell people on their funnel. Like literally, you're one big guru YouTube video away from being a commodity. Do you know how many kids out here want to get rich? Everyone. So, and trust me, they have the attention span. I know a lot of people are like, oh, they don't have attention span, they're on TikTok. Yeah, trust me. Yeah, right. If you tell a kid he can start driving a Porsche at 16, he'll sit down and devour knowledge more than anything ever. Right? I personally would not want to compete with a 16-year-old. Like, I'm like, hey, that's why I partner with them, because I ain't got the discipline anymore. I got to go to the gym. I got to build some muscles. I got to go drive a car. I like to drink my wine. I'm not trying to sit down and watch a YouTube video every day, but everybody else who's out there just learning this one skill, you guys are, I mean, good luck. Good luck on competition, right? Cool. Let's go through this infrastructure vehicle analogy. So the way that I like to simplify this BNR thing is to essentially understand that every business at different levels needs a different growth vehicle to get to the next level, right? As an example, what I'm sharing with you guys today is not necessarily how to make 5K a month. Can it make you 5K a month? Of course. But is it necessarily the vehicle that I'm trying to get you guys into? No. I'm trying to make sure everyone makes 100 grand, $250,000 a month. That's what this does. This does not get you to 10K. It can get you faster, the fastest path, but I'm not trying, you don't need to do all of this, consume this much knowledge only to make 10K a month. You can literally go, you can go sell those IG funnels and you'll make 10K a month, right? If I'm spending 2-3 hours presenting this, is because I'm trying to get you guys to achieve greater outcomes. Now, here is the thing. The same way that I've uncovered the model to get you guys at a 10x the scale is also something you need to understand when you're sourcing your infrastructure. You need to research and identify growth infrastructure required to get a specific niche to their next level. It could be SaaS, it could be HVAC companies, it could be gyms, it could be solar companies, it could be yoga studios, right? We have clients helping yoga studios. We have clients helping restaurants, like I showed you guys, right? And then build a team that can put together the infrastructure on behalf of your clients, right? build every component. So maybe you go find someone who's really good with VSLs and funnels. Maybe you go find someone who's really good with sales. Maybe you go find someone who's really good with CRMs and GHL and systems. Those 3 people, and then you go analyze what vehicle people need. Okay. By the way, I'm trying to buy this Porsche, but insurance don't want to insure me because the car is too expensive. And I think the guy called me while I was doing this Webby like 40 minutes ago. And I was supposed to go to Toronto. And Gilles, are we going to Toronto? Because I'm going to Toronto in like an hour. But I don't think I'm gonna go.
I might have got it figured out, so we might be getting a GT3. Maybe.
Okay, but so are we still going to Toronto tonight?
Depends on how long it takes you to finish the lobby.
Yeah, priorities, guys.
Finish the lobby.
Fuck the GT3. We're trying to do a Webby. Come on, guys. Anyway, but guys, it literally looks the same way. Do you guys like it? Does it look good? I think you guys are like the first people to look at it. It's like exactly gray, gold wheels, PDK, so automatic, because you know you can't go wrong with PDK. I like the wing. So I'd rather prioritize dropping you guys some gems than to go pick up a car. I have my priorities set. Amazing. Webby first, cars last. Anyway, okay, cool, perfect. So here's how I think through. So as an example, let's say today I lose everything. The way I'm gonna make my next million is actually pretty simple. I'm gonna pick a niche, okay? And I'll be like, okay, well, I need to first understand where I need to get them to. So I need to establish a segment of the market. Is it people trying to go to 10K per month? Is it people trying to get to 50K per month? Is it people trying to get to $250,000 a month? Is it people trying to get to $1 million a month and more? And then I need to, as a researcher, sit down on a weekend, wake up, go podcasts, go YouTube, go Twitter, go Instagram, all these platforms. And all I'm trying to do is I want to find someone who's making $250,000 in that niche. Let's say if I pick this niche, okay? And then what I want to do is I want to understand their offer. Then I want to understand their lead flow systems. Then I want to understand their appointment setting systems. Then I want to understand how they're closing, okay? And then I want to see the vehicle. So as an example, right now I have this 663, okay? That would be the vehicle that I would build. So I would figure out what is the engine, what are the wheels, what are the body? Is there, you know, carbon in it? Or is it just, you know, it's just a heavy car, rear wheel drive? Okay, perfect. Then I'm going to go to people who are maybe making 50K per month, wanting to get to $250,000 per month. And I'll be like, hey guys, I've documented every single thing about how to get to $250,000. Pay me 25 grand and let's get to work. Because they're paying me because of the time I've spent learning the thing, assembling all the variables. And guys, it's that easy what I mean by building and releasing infrastructures. Does that make sense? It is literally this simple. Identify which car. Maybe some of you guys don't have a lot of experience. Maybe you might go build and release a bicycle. Like, listen, it makes sense. Sometimes you got to do it. And then, but the way that I would kind of like call this first layer of getting from people from 0 to 10K per month would be, let's say, like 100K a year growth infrastructure. Understand how to build offers and trending services. Find a cold email agency. Okay. Because you don't need paid ads. You can probably get VAs, or if you want. It could either be cold email or like the social outreach thing that I was doing before. Okay. Because do you know why it's important to find the right vehicle for them? Because maybe they don't have the resources to sustain this vehicle. If I'm paying $150 in every 3 days to fill up this gas tank on this AMG, you're not going to sell it to someone who has no money. That would be crazy. You would kill them, right? Or the amount of, so each infrastructure comes with a lot of weight that needs to be supported. That's why when you're picking, I see a lot of people are like trying to sell ads to broke people. I'm like, you're confused, right? You need to sell the right infrastructure to the right segment of the marketplace, right? So if I'm trying to get someone 10K a month, get them cold email, get them an inbox manager with VA, and find the best sales script. That's it. Buy, sell this for like 5K, and you're good. All you need to do is start building, releasing this for 5K, build a process selling VSL where you break down the infrastructure, launch ads if you want. Because for you, even though you're selling this with VAs, maybe you don't need to do VDS. Maybe you should go with ads because maybe you're working with us and you have access to the ad frameworks, okay? Then the setter reaches out to every lead that opts in. Then you close every prospect. You sell 10 people per month. You're making 50K per month. This is the new way to get into 50K per month. The new way to get into 50K a month is not getting 25, 30 clients, paying you 2K a month. That's crazy. That's craziness. Become smarter, build a more sophisticated solution, then sell 5 or 10 of them a month. And if you want to go get Porsches, go get Porsches. I waited 8 million to get a Porsche. So maybe that would be a lesson for you, right? So just keep the money in the bank. Just stack cash, just stack dough. Because trust me, economy, you never know what's going to happen, okay? If I lost every dollar in my bank account, I'd make it all back in 6 months because I know how to get people what they want better and faster than they can themselves. Your job as a growth creator and as someone who builds and releases a growth infrastructure is as simple as figuring out what they need to grow, build a team that can put it together, go market your infrastructure, and sell as many as you can, because every time you sell it, you change someone's life. And every time you sell it, you actually get better at helping them. Therefore, every time you sell it, you get better at selling it and you get better at fulfilling for it. It's an amazing business, right? It's like Facebook. The more people use the platform, the more people like, the better the algorithm gets. You almost want to become a platform like business where the more data you get, the better you get, right? Now, let's summarize. I've shared undeniable proof. I think we probably spent like 25 minutes on wins from clients in different niches. That anyone who's truly experiencing fast growth in the online space is selling some type of infrastructure, turnkey solution instead of selling their time. And that's the funny thing I see. A lot of people are telling you like, oh, use this funnel to get clients. The fucking funnel is not what making your business 25 fucking million. What the fuck? Like, is it, do people understand? Do people take you guys for like, I mean, I personally think they think we're idiots. How do you think that a IG funnel or a VSL funnel is what's making you 3 million a month? Are you kidding me? A video on a landing page is making you 5 million a month? That has nothing to do with it. It's the business model more than anything, right? I know guys who are making $1 million a month with Airbnb coaching. I'm like, it's not Airbnb that's making them $1 million a month. It's the business model of teaching people something that you've already uncovered, right? I've shown you how our clients are leveraging and changing the game, right? I've shown you how Hormozi leveraged the same skills that didn't amount to much when he was running gyms or done for you growth, but that somehow suddenly became a $17 million profit in 12 months business, right? And this is an important lesson, guys. And I want you guys to understand it. For anyone here who's still running a business, who's done it for a long time, if you're still struggling, maybe it's time for you to pivot. Maybe it is time for you to pivot. Hormozi knew how to run gyms when he was broke. He knew how to get leads. He knew how to get appointments. When he was done doing the 100K a month and lost it all, he already knew how to do everything. But it's only when he built a package and a protocol and everything and just sold it up front that he made 17 million. Nothing else changed. Nothing. And same thing happened with me. Selling 1.5K a month services to $8 million in 24 months. Guys, I never in my lifetime, I also don't believe I even made this money sometimes, because I'm like, you did not just quit your job 3 years ago and make $8 million. It does not make any sense. It's not like it doesn't make sense for my mind. It doesn't make sense for the mind back then and my goals. Guys, I was writing down every day that I would dream of making 10K per month. Nowhere in my thoughts did I think that, oh, 3 years later, 4 years later, you're going to have collected 8 million. What? I wouldn't have fathomed it, right? Cool. Is it pretty clear how you guys can move forward and pivot to this model to finally experience true freedom instead of wasting your time and energy, aka life achieving average returns? Let me know in the chat, guys. Cool. Let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know if it makes sense. Pretty clear. All right, cool. Perfect. Now, this is something I always do for every presentation I do. rate of learning and rate of change. As much as I just showed you guys how a lot of people are making millions, and so you guys just went through a lot of learning in the last 3 hours, right? But just because you learned doesn't mean nothing. In order for you to get a lot of results, you also have to change your behavior. So intelligence actually is defined by your rate of learning times the rate of change. So how fast and how good is the quality of your knowledge, and how fast are you implementing it? Okay? Smart people acquire knowledge, but they change their behavior faster. So as an example, if I'm running a done for you ads agency and I learn about BNR, I'm starting a process map and searching for insights tomorrow, preferably tonight. That's the difference between someone who's intelligent, who has knowledge, and someone who's actually intelligent. Smart people, the ones who actually end up doing a lot, aren't necessarily the ones who have the most knowledge. They're the ones who have the fastest behavior shift. Okay? So now you guys have the knowledge, now you need execution. You have the knowledge to execute, but implementation of this is what will take you from where you're at to where you need to be. Now, guys, am I allowed to give you guys an offer? Let me know in the chat. Andrew, come on, man. Come on, man. Come, Andrew, how you not gonna make me? How you not gonna let me do my job? Okay, cool, guys. So let me walk you guys through this. By the way, before we get started, what's our time together thus far enjoyable for you guys? Let me know in the chat. I'm starting to get butterflies for the Porsche. Gilles, thanks you for the good news, man. I mean, to be honest, I don't want to go to Toronto, man. I wanted to stay in Montreal, have a good time. Let me know in the chat, guys. Have you guys found it valuable? Yes. All right, cool. Perfect. And do you feel more comfortable with your ability to make 50K, 100K a month in the next 12 months by creating a firm and turning your business into a firm that builds and releases growth infrastructures? Let me know in the chat. Cool. And is it fair to say that using these insights, is it unreasonable for you not to have significant advantage over your competition who are being sold the dream of selling commoditized services or commoditized skills and switching to info, coaching, or something, knowing that they won't be able to get anyone results? Let me know in the chat. I have absolute confidence that you could take everything we covered today and on your own go out and put it into action and get results that you previously thought were impossible. I'm also certain that just with the information we covered today on this webinar today, left on your own resources, time, and effort, you can make a go at this in a way that most people will never be able to. And if that were the only option, it would be a worthy ideal to pursue. But if there were another option, an option that would allow us to go at this together, a chance to go deeper than we can in 2 measly hours on 1 measly webinar, connecting together in 1 measly time. What if client acquisition.io played an active role in your results, took responsibility in your success, and had an obligation to your outcome? How would that make things different? Do you think that with all the resources at my disposal to stack the deck in your favor to make the success all but inevitable? Do you think that if I allocated my time and my team's time and capital helping you not only understand what you need to do, but build everything out that you need, would that make it unreasonable for you not to scale your company? And if I had such an option for you, would you love to hear more about it and what it could do for you? Right? Let me know in the chat, even though you guys can read it, but I just need the chat to blow up. I need to blow up the chat, guys. You got to support me. You got to support your brother. Cool. So guys, today we're launching Growth Creator Incubator. Okay. So this is essentially Growth Specialist 2.0. Okay. And really the focus is really simple. If I have seen further is by standing on the shoulders of giants, like Isaac Newton said. Instead of me just giving you guys information that you need to scale with this BNR model and letting you go at it alone, I've decided to dump everything with leverage to help our partners scale from 100K to 250K a month as well as our internal growth infrastructures for members of the incubator to leverage it, right? So that means that over the last few months, there has been something that has been on my mind, right? And this is the fact that our partnership layer, service layer of client acquisition.io has seen so much success that I want to turbocharge our pipeline of partners. But the only way for you to become a partner is if you're already making good money, right? And how can I help you guys get there faster? Well, it's really simple. I take everything we're using for our partners and we dump it into the incubator, okay? So this has led us to essentially deciding that we're not actually even going to call it growth specialist anymore. We're actually changing the name to growth creator incubator. So this is the stepping stone to you becoming a partner, okay? But maybe you're not at a point where you can be a partner, whether that be you don't qualify financially, or you don't necessarily have the bandwidth, or you don't want to necessarily get started in being a partner and give us rev share. Instead, you have the ability to access the following. Access to all the proven growth infrastructures that we have sold or that our partners have sold. So that is growth, YouTube content growth infrastructure, SaaS growth infrastructure, e-com, cold email, BizOp, landscaping, HVAC. It doesn't matter the niche. We've probably already mapped out these offers. That's one. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't have like a proven offer, you guys can come in, just get the build and release on something that we've already validated. You're going to get access to client acquisition that is growth consultant to approve your $10,000, $15,000 build and release offer, your niche, your mechanism, your pricing, and your guarantee one-on-one. Okay. You're going to get access to the growth consultant to provide you with a personalized offer validation and scaling roadmap. So we're going to be looking at your niche and your offer, and depending on the competition in your niche, we're going to decide what we're going to do in what order. You're going to access our proven sales letter framework, pre-built via sell funnel, and get your sales letter reviewed by a growth consultant. We've already leveraged this to you can leverage it to either nurture 10 people a day or 1,000 leads a day into wanting your protocol and growth infrastructure. Same thing that I'm personally using, so you guys don't have to recreate anything. You're going to get access to our paid ads infrastructure, responsible for over 500 sales calls per week for all our partners and the systems and the data from all the campaigns. Never need to hire an agency. I know some of you guys want to, let's say if you're struggling with paid ads, you'll be like, oh, let me hire a cheap contractor and let's get them to do ads, done for you ads. No, don't do that. Come, let client acquisition.io give you everything you need. Why do you need to go pay an agency that doesn't even know what they're doing, right? So instead, leverage the data we've collected in the systems from hundreds of thousands of dollars in monthly spend and over 100 build and release offers. So as you guys can see here, we collect data on all the campaigns on all these niches. So HVAC, home care, insurance, lawyers, med spa, nursing homes, pool builders, real estate, restaurants, roofing, SaaS, sales reps. We have people targeting closers. We have people targeting concrete businesses, dentists, agencies in the Italian market, 9-to-5ers, auto detailing. So we have everything around the metrics, and we also have the creatives that have been killing it for all the clients. So you guys are going to get access to this. You're going to get access to our head ad consultant to help you approve and launch your paid ads campaign. This is a win that I actually saw yesterday, which was pretty cool. Charlie is in GCP, and he sent a message at 2 a.m. that he spent 300 pounds on ads, booked 25 calls, qualified calls. By 4 a.m., he closed his first client for 3K pounds a month, which is pretty amazing to see. Spent 300 bucks and let us know by 2 a.m. because he was excited about getting these calls for the first time. He had only primarily relied on doing outreach, which is why even if you guys don't have a lot of money, every client in the incubator, we recommend to go straight to ads. It's not like I don't have VAs to give you guys. I have infinite amount of VAs to give you, but I would rather you guys see success faster than to waste your time because you're afraid of spending money, right? Or investing in said otherwise, right? And we have Tyler, who we just onboarded, worked with a few agencies, scaled a bunch of coaching offers, scaled a bunch of lead gen agencies. You guys are going to be working with him. We have Casey, who's, you know, scaled his own agencies, working with SaaS companies, working with VC firms. You guys are going to get access to him. You guys are going to access our BM setting and appointment setting dialing systems, leverage to 10x the conversion rate from lead to appointments. So this is everything we've kind of like mapped out, whether that be for us or for our partners. You're going to get access to our head of appointment setting, who's actively managing a team of DM setters and dialers, bringing over $1 million per month. By the way, he's actually managing a company that's doing like 3 to 4 million a month, right? But we kind of like we sourced him so he can kind of like help us ramp up our own. When I'm hiring, I like to hire for people who've done this before and who are helping companies that are where we want to be. I don't hire from people who I guess I have to teach stuff. So this is a guy that everyone in the incubator is actually going to be accessing. I know some of you guys are in the incubator, so this is some pretty fucking good news for you guys. That's the cost for him if you were to go hire him. Access our head of operations. You know, so this is Katie. I'm sure you guys probably have heard of her before. If you have any systems problems like GHL, Airtable, ClickUp, like I showed you guys a lot of the systems that we have, and a lot I haven't showed you guys. Discord, Slack, building communities. We can build or consult you on any platform you're trying to work, and you guys are going to be accessing her every week. Access our build and release fulfillment protocol that every partner leverages to handle 100K a month in revenue. Never worry about not knowing how to fulfill for your clients after they wire you a lot of money. So this is everything we're going to be giving you guys access. You guys are going to access also our 500K a month Google Doc closing method and sales systems that every partner is leveraged to sell their growth infrastructures. Learn to sell through auditing businesses metrics and finding constraints like an investor would, instead of sticking to selling through emotions. So these are all the assets on sales that you guys are going to be getting. Access our head of sales to consult on who's overseeing all the hundreds of partners that we have in GCP and solve any sales problems you may have. If you want to hire him, you can pay him 10K a month if you want to. Access our content portal with over 50 hours of documentation related, all things related to growth. So here's something I want to explain. One of the things that I think it's important for you guys to understand the logic of what we do when we're sharing information. The idea isn't necessarily that you're going to need all this information, knowledge to help yourself scale past 50K, 100K per month. The reason why we've dumped a lot of all this knowledge is because you get to leverage it to build your unique mechanism to help your clients. It's not to help yourself. To help yourself, you really only need like 5 implementation, 5 systems, 5 campaigns, this and that, and you're good. But the reason why we want our clients to get smarter and collect a lot more knowledge is because that's the only way you're going to be able to help your clients. Okay. And also one thing that I forgot is everyone who joins the incubator, you guys are also going to get access to the AI build and release infrastructure. So anyone who wants to start selling AI growth infrastructure, this is also going to be a bundle in the actual incubator, right? You're also going to get access to your personal chat. You know, people in the incubator also get a personal chat. I know a lot of you guys are like, hey, is it a group thing? Is it a this? No. Everyone in the incubator has direct communication with a client success specialist to keep you accountable, but most importantly, to guide you. So never feel like you're not served on a one-on-one level, even if you're buying into a program, right? I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is still our most leveraged offer, right? And it's like we can't, and the reason why it's a lot cheaper than GCP is because we also take that into consideration. But we still understand that everyone who's spending a lot of money, because it's still not cheap, you need some level of support. You need someone you can connect with, so you don't have to waste time looking for things and waiting for group calls. No, none of that. We don't do none of that here. So you can access this here. And you'll access our community of growth creators who are building and releasing offers in different niches, right? So we have different channels that you guys are going to be able to access with them. Everyone is killing it, sharing what they're seeing in their campaign. Now, the cost, really simple. There are 2 costs to build and access this infrastructure. There's what I pay for it, and there's what you would pay for it. In March, I was looking at the cost of goods sold on a P&L, and I spent $298,000 investing in kind of like what we're building right now. So this is what I paid for it. If you were to own the talent internally and the systems needed to build everything that you're about to get access to, you would have to be spending 200 grand a month and over $2 million a year. This is what it costs me, right? That's the problem with, I might start selling courses, to be honest, and save this. But your cost today, guys, I'm not trying to go around the bit around the bush. The cost of the incubator is going to be 12K, right? Since you're accessing the same infrastructure as our partners in GCP, but without the rev share. Okay, so our rev share, our partners in GCP, they have to spend 20K, 25K plus 15% of revenue. But here it's just a one-time fee of 12K. Okay. That's still less than 1/100th of the true cost of what you'll receive, and nothing compared to the millions of dollars that I've leveraged to actually sell this for and generate, like, to generate millions with, right? So since we're still, this is something I want to clarify. We're still a few weeks away from delivering and completing the build of the incubator, okay? So it's not yet fully done. So we've decided to launch a special offer to the first movers. So I'm honest with you guys, everything that I'm about to walk you guys through is not fully complete. It's not fully delivered, which is why we're wanting to launch this. It's almost like a beta launch on this new thing. We have a special offer for the first movers. For the next 48 hours, because we're capping it for 48 hours, I'm launching the following offer. The first 5 people to sign up and join the Growth Creator Incubator can get started for just 7.5K if you sign up on the funnel, which is this one. Okay. So webbyoffer.com, 7.5K upfront. If your credit card can't process 7.5K at once, you can DM me on Instagram. We can split the payment like we did on the last Webby. So we'll split it up in like 2 payments, 3 payments, so it can go through. But for 7.5K, you can get in before we fully launch everything. Okay. Now, signing up on the funnel and through DM saves you 20%. If you want to speak with my sales team and need to be kind of like sold and converted on the offer, you can book a sales call today, tomorrow, or I believe Friday, I think. Let's get the team to open up their calendars, please. We blocked out the next 2 days to get calls, but you have to understand that you won't get it at 7.5K. You will get it at 9K. But the beauty of speaking with the sales team is you can get a payment plan if you want to pay it over the next few months. To access the payment plan works the same way. All you need to do is just click this button here, and you will be led at the bottom, and you will just need to pick slots here. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So today we have 5 slots already. If you guys take up these slots, then you guys can be the 5 people who sign up, and then we'll shut it down. If you guys don't have 5 slots, you can pick for tomorrow, right? We've opened up the calendar, so that's going to be good. And then, but yeah, that's really much it. So 20% more if you speak with the sales team. I'm going to have to pay more anyway. So you're going to have to, but at least you're going to get a payment plan, or 7.5K if you sign up on the webinar funnel. That's really simple. 7.5K upfront, or 9K over the next few months as payment plans if you want to get started, right? Once we've onboarded 5 members that we're going to validate this new launch with and validate wins, the price will increase to 12K. If you want to sign up, I guess I can show you. I've already showed you guys. Last time we did this kind of like offer, this is what our calendar looks like. And we're already booking 30 calls a day, just in just general. But because we knew that we're doing this webinar, we actually blocked out time today, tomorrow, and Friday. As you guys can see, there's no other slots available next week whatsoever. And that is because the goal of this Webby is not necessarily to flood our calendars. We're already booking infinite amount of calls with our sales team just regularly. This is just for anyone who gets the offer, who wants this offer, to book a call for tomorrow, right? Now, as you guys know, I'm not done yet. The offer only gets better once I give the price, okay? So let me show you guys what else you guys get. Okay, and then we'll end it here, and then we'll do Q&A. Okay, cool. Here are the bonus. For the first first movers willing to share the risk, to take the risk of investing with me, I've decided to share some exciting bonuses. If you sign up today and are part of the first 5 people to sign up, you will receive the following. You will access every single thing that I built for the $500,000 outbound growth infrastructure that allowed me to scale past 600 grand a month in 18 months. How? You use it as inspiration to build something new, or leverage it to go sell it for 10 grand, implementing the same infrastructure in the niche of your choice. Preferably, we'd help you pick the best niche to implement it for. Okay? That's one. That's literally me telling you, hey, I've made $4 million with this. I have the fulfillment for it. Take it, go build and release it, and we'll be your partner on it. That's one. That's bonus number 1. Bonus number 2, access the appointment setting playbook and appointment setting infrastructure that we use to generate those 1,000 calls that I showed you guys organically. So if you don't want to use ads, don't worry. Cool. Leverage our playbook, leverage our systems, leverage our ramp up process, leverage our systems, go scale your outbound team. What you got to lose? Boom. So no more issue with calls. The next thing is, you might be like, oh, but I don't know how to sell it. Oh, la, 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 la. Okay, cool. Perfect. Well, here's a 27-page page doc and the sales infrastructure that my closers were leveraging to make 40K a month and make me $500,000 a month. So everything that I showed you guys here, you guys get access to. But this is, again, only accessible to the first 5 movers because this is completely separate from the incubator. So that's why we can't deliver to everyone. We're only limiting it because we haven't operationally delivered what I'm trying to show you guys right now. So that's why we only want to do it for 5 people. From there, we can, once it's at scale and we've mapped it out, then we can give it to more people at 12K. The other thing that I wanted to do, which was pretty exciting, is that we have still a lot of VAs who come to us wanting to get placed, right? So every single person out of the 5 people who join the incubator, one thing we'd like to try is the ability for you guys to leverage our done for you VA sourcing and training service and have us be your fulfillment partner on the VA process. So what that means is you guys will be able to leverage our 400 pre-trained VAs and also the 5,000 candidates that I showed you guys earlier. We already have a platform where you can pick and choose. And then, by the way, this is not necessarily going to be free, but you're going to have like a few $100 fee to actually to leverage it, because it's not going to be included in the program. But you can literally not need to build a 25K, 30K a month infrastructure or backend, and you can just tell us, hey, I need 5 VAs that I need to place for these 2 build and release, and we'll be like, okay, cool, just give us 1 week and we'll give them to you, right? So you don't have to train, you don't have to vet. We handle that for you if you're part of the incubator. Okay. The next thing is onboarding. Essentially, you don't need to build any onboarding. This is something we're going to be building and releasing for everyone in the incubator. So you literally just need to change the name, optimize the email sequences, and literally change the prices. So everything from onboarding, clarity session, community design, every single thing. So even the community structure, we're building and releasing that on your behalf. So how your community should be structured, we're going to show you and give you guys exactly how we're currently doing it, and you can just plug and play it. The last thing is, of course, fulfillment, systems and infrastructure. So everyone out of the 5 will also get access to the fulfillment systems and infrastructure we're leveraging to serve 45 clients per month. Like I said, from the sheets to the ClickUp. So you guys will actually be getting access to the ClickUp base that we use even right now for all our partners in GCP. And that's because we believe you guys can, we would rather pay that cost for you guys than help you guys use Google Sheets. So that's going to be good. And you guys are going to be getting access to the $500,000 action plan that is here. So you guys, if you ever want to implement it, you guys can go ahead and sell it. Okay. You guys are also going to be getting access to the project management, which is just covered here. And this is what it will look like. And then lastly, the person who joins the incubator in this launch and generates the most revenue in the first 90 days will win a free access to our summer's retreat that is coming up very, very soon. I didn't make this like, oh, just because you paid, you will join us. No. Doesn't work like that. You got to prove yourself. And I don't want you being on a summer retreat and seeing people spending $10,000 a day and feeling a little uncomfortable, right? Be there because you deserve it, not because you got there for free, right? That's a lot, 10 times more rewarding than if you got a free seat or a free flight to come spend your summer with us. Okay. So deserve it, right? And this is something I wanted to do that's pretty so special. If you generate the most revenue, will remove the fee to join GCP, and you'll go straight to working one-on-one with me and my team. We'll offer you done for your ads, done for your recruitment, everything without the fee. But this is only to the first person who joined today, who gets access to the ability to jump into GCP for free. Okay. Well, not free, but you'll just not have the upfront cost, right? And this program is no longer 3 months. It's going to be 4 months because we believe it takes time to build. So this is going to be a 4-month program. So it's 7.5K for 4 months or 9K for 4 months. So that's going to be good. These bonuses will only be available for the first 5 movers. And we're going to be releasing one after another as we're still building. So for anyone who signs up or who wants to jump in, please, the expectation is every week we're going to be building and releasing every single component here that I just showed you. So please do not expect that you pay and then you have everything in 2 seconds. Okay. And growth creator guarantee, really simple. It's really the simplest guarantee ever. You implement the playbook step by step. You hit the required KPIs. If you don't make a return in 4 months, we'll refund you. No questions asked. Simple. So the worst case scenario is you sign up, you pay 7K, 9K, doesn't matter. You go ahead and implement. You access everything we've spent millions of dollars building. You implement it. You get results. Cool. You would probably be happier but running a $500,000 $1 million a year business than getting your 7K back. But if you implement and it doesn't work, you get your money back. That's simple. Okay. But I'd be surprised if someone doesn't make a return with something I made $8 million with. Right. So for anyone who wants to sign up, guys, that's it. Cool. Shall we get into the questions? I'd like to get into some questions. All right. Cool. Do we have the questions on a form, by the way? Yeah, you'll get this doc after. How do we inquire about GCP? It depends, Andrew. How much money are you making? Chase, with this offer, will you help me build and release my offer for my current clients? Yeah. Well, we essentially build the whole offer with you, right? And we give you the fulfillment for it. So yeah. Actually, I might have to go through the chat to actually answer. I think it will just be faster, right? I think if you guys
the links are just in the chat if you want to check that out.
But is that necessarily going to be the fastest path? I feel like it might be faster if we just go through the chat, right?
You can go through that too, but a lot of people submit it via the form.
Okay. Okay, no, I'll go through the chat. Guys, drop the questions in the chat and then we'll go through it right now. And then Jill, I guess we're not flying tonight, right?
We missed the flight if we don't leave in 30 minutes. So yeah, we missed it. No push today.
If we don't leave in 30 minutes or if we leave in 30 minutes?
13 minutes. So we pretty much missed it.
Okay, cool. Fuck the flight.
We did it for the webbing.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. All right, cool. So let me just scroll back. Is this different to NBL community? Only just under, yeah, NBL community is just information in one weekly call. You're not getting an actual infrastructure. Can't imagine people not buying this. I agree. How do we create an infrastructure with a content agency? I'd love, if you have a content agency, I would love if you can join the incubator, because my next build and release offer that we're actually going to be launching is going to be based on a content infrastructure, right? So who's the best fit for the growth creator incubator? So incubator is really for someone who, it's just you don't have a shit ton of money and you're playing with limited resources. The reason why I say that is because in GCP, we can done for you a lot of things, but the problem with done for you is that if you don't have a lot of resources, then you're almost like playing the survival game. We do not want to be partners with someone who's playing survival game. So instead, pay a fixed fee, take the infrastructure, validate it, prove it with our support together, go make money. Once you've made enough money where you're comfortable, come afford the done for you, if that makes sense. So if you're not comfortable and have good recurring revenue coming in, probably wouldn't suggest joining GCP. What should someone do if they just got out of high school and have no experience in business, but want to start a journey, be rich like you? Join NBL, watch my YouTube video. I wouldn't charge you 7K to, even if you paid, what are you gonna do? You don't have any knowledge, right? So to leverage everything I've just shared, you kind of like need you need some knowledge, right? Like that's why I don't try to sell anything cheaper, because it's expensive enough where it's like only people who can make it up, make sense of it will make sense. I just signed up in gs.io. Will these add? Yeah, of course. Everybody who's been in gs.io will get access to all these. So you guys don't have to buy again. What should someone do if they just, okay, Jesus Christ. Does this work for cold email B2B? Yeah, we have people who validated this for cold email agency. Is the 50-hour content the same as what's in NBL? No, I mean, NBL has doesn't have a lot of hours of content. No. Do you build and release infrastructure for real estate? We have people in real estate. Yep. How did you go about recruiting, training VAs? And would you go about training talent in a domain you don't have a skill in? Well, we have, how do we go about it? Well, if you want to learn it, just join the thing. Please see Airtable forms. Kang, you're going to have to drop a question. I'm not going to go through because they're older questions, right? So if you want to just drop it again, I can share it. Is there done for you legal service businesses? I wouldn't suggest that there is. It would have to be like it would have to be you sharing with other legal firms how to scale or how to start their own, but it wouldn't be like you're offering legal services, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? So you almost like build and release legal consulting companies for people. Where do you get the resources to train VAs? We built them ourselves. We're currently generating 20 to 30K a month with a very similar model, figuring it out, Serge, as we go ahead. Oh yeah, if you're making 20, 30K a month, yeah, fuck it. Let's just jump into GCP. Like just jump in. Let's get some, let's pay you more attention. 20 to 30K a month is, you have the capital to just like to make money faster. Like as an example, if we just spent $500 on ads, like in a week, could probably get you like 5 deals closed. Let's say 7K each, 10K each. That's 50 grand in revenue. Like, so, I mean, just book a sales call, book a link, a call, or message me on Instagram. But yeah, just book the same link on the funnel, but it's just that you're going to just say that, hey, instead of buying the incubator, I want to get into GCP, the kind of like service layer, please. Can NBL give you knowledge? Yeah, NBL can give you. Or you can just go on YouTube. It's 12-hour training on there for free. You don't need to, guys, you don't need to buy anything from here. The offer today is for anyone who wants to skip the info space and go straight to acquiring an asset. Does that make sense? Let me repeat this. Incubator is not me selling you knowledge. I'll give the knowledge away for free. It's us building all the assets, fulfillment, onboarding, acquisition, and offer, handing it to you. That's what you're buying. You're buying a tangible, something tangible. You're not buying information. How would you structure guarantee for such BNR offers? Raj, I hope you were not paying attention. I told you to shut your phone down when I started. Where do you get the resources to train VAs? Malik, please don't ask that question again. I'm joking. Maybe I'm reading the same questions you guys asked a lot. I think I lack clarity on where and how to start here. I know a little bit about communication, sales, marketing, and content production, but I think I need to build foundations first to be able to create, sell, and fulfill a build and release offer. To learn foundation, get into NBL. It's $49 a week. Like can someone send him $49 a week? Because I share case in NBL how to go from idea to validating, so you can see how to go through that. How can we create an infrastructure for content agency? We can take care of that in the incubator if you want. Can you explain and drop a resource to explain the decision-making process? You don't need the information. We can help you do it if you want. How can I start a 4-way split today? I just had a call booked with you. How can I pay today but 4 monthly payments? Are you free for up on a call? Yeah, just Riyadh can get you on a call. If I don't have 12K or 7K to start, could I use this info to start my offer? Oh yeah, you can take everything I share. I mean, you know how many people like copy everything I share and go build 100K a month businesses with? Everyone. So you don't need to, guys, you don't need to pay. You don't need to sign up. You don't need nothing. You do not need to work with us. The only reason you would work with us is because you're okay investing money to make sense of skipping and not wasting your time. If you have more time than money, go sit down on YouTube or in NBL, do it. If you have enough money that you want to experience success faster. So as an example, I want the GT. I could have waited 5 years, next 5 years to get a GT3, but I would rather experience the GT3 this summer than save money and experience it in 5 years, because I would rather 5 years of experiencing a GT3 than 5 years of saving money so I can experience the GT3 5 years from now. So it's like, how soon do you want to experience the thing you want? Is it tomorrow? Cool. Then make decisions and invest your capital according to how urgent you want the thing you want in life. If you're okay waiting 10 years, you can go learn. You can go through the same books I read. You can go through the same hiring. You can hire Reg. You can hire Gilles. You can hire a sales team. You can hire a YouTube guy. You can put out 900 YouTube videos. You can write emails every day. And in 3 years, 4 years, you will have enough knowledge where you can start being successful. But yeah. Cool. What's the minimum of MRR for people? Listen, so as an example, like that GCP, if you're making enough money, you know if you're eligible or not. It's not really about 30K a month. It's about how good are you doing, you know? How much do you think the best person will make in, I mean, if each thing you're selling it for, let's say minimum 9K, 10K, I don't know, if you have 4 weeks to sell, 30 days to sell one package, you make 9K. If you sell one a week, you're getting close to 35K a month. Cool. By the way, do we have Wyatt to come on here, or any of the clients who wanted to jump on? Do you have any business or data in barbershops? No, unfortunately, we don't. But if you have experience in scaling barbershops, you could probably do a build and release for them. But I don't know. Like the thing I want you to understand is our service is not necessarily giving you the true thing that works. I would actually love to learn how to scale barbershops. Then you use our models of building offers and our scaling protocol and our fulfillment to scale and offer a BNR in that niche. Does that make sense? That's how it works. It's not like we make you, unless you want to take what I was selling and go sell that, then we give you something that's fully complete. But if you come with something with a lot of knowledge, we love that because we can turn that into an actual BNR. Will this offer get saturated in 1 or 2 years? What is this offer? BNR barbershops, BNR HVAC, BNR what? And how many people do you know can BNR for HVAC? Or how many people out of the things, let's say even outreach, like I just showed you that I was doing BNR, how many people have showed you what I showed you? when you have people who can sit here for 3 hours and show you something, yeah. What type of wine are you drinking after you shut off this Webby since you missed the flight? I don't know if I'm gonna drink. I might drink tomorrow because I'm flying Friday to Europe. I have a rally in Europe to Monaco for the F1. So I'm starting a little summer vacation next week. How can you create an infrastructure for content agency? Okay, we might have to put Jack Roberts out of this Zoom thing. Jack, look at webbyoffer.com, find a link to book a call, and get a payment plan, or just pay the invoice. Have you seen people include ad spend in BNR offer? No, hell no. No. I sell AI infrastructure in the real estate niche. How can I start now? And also, how can I increase my rate? I sell real estate. How can I start right now? Book a call, jump in the program. We have, I mean, how many people have we made money with the AI growth infrastructure? Everybody's making a shit ton of money with that, right? And it's the same incubator. So all the offer that we're incubating people into are all in the GC incubator. Serge, do you think a lot of people will hop on this train? Of course they're going to hop on this train. By the way, is build and release worth it? What is NBL, Natural Born Leader Community? How do I sell AI infrastructure in the real estate niche? How do I sell? How much of this call is recorded? How many hours per day studying this business when we first start selling yours? I don't know. Just like restaurants allowed to eat and clean, I can close anything with systems like this. Can I close for you on a scale European? No, you cannot. I'm not looking for talent. Do you offer build and release in French? I don't offer it in French, but we have clients in the French market, taking what we're doing and applying it in the French market, if that makes sense. So we serve you in English, but you can take it and put it in your market. We have people in the Spanish market, Italian market doing what we're doing, so it works. How do you know when to let go of an underperforming team member? When you wake up and feel pissed off, please let them go. What about build and release 2K per month? You can split it per month, but it's best you charge up front when you're starting out, right? Do this work for low ticket offers, or does it work? Well, Justin. We don't sell anything low ticket. We leave low ticket to the brokies. Will we get the links for this doc if you paid for the Webby? Yes, you will, of course. That's my thing. I don't know. I know a lot about my niche, but I'm still validating my growth strategy for my client. I don't particular. I'm a good fit for the program due to that. Well, the beautiful thing with working with us is if you're scaling other companies, well, we already have proven frameworks. So not only do you buy something to scale your offer, you also actually learn to scale your clients better than you would yourself. Is managing the team you place into clients' businesses as part of the reoccurring offer? Maybe not managing, but maybe more talent recruitment. That could be a leveraged thing. How many salespeople do you have? Actually, when we do $1 million a quarter, we're actually only with one closer. So we don't have. I only onboarded a second one recently. So that's that. How do we get links to it? I've paid for this Webby. You're going to get access to everything once it's uploaded to the offer. I meant upfront like 10K and 2K per month. Yep. I meant low ticket businesses like hair salons. Yeah, you can help. Yeah, you can help them. Well, you're going to need to apply an interesting playbook. Is there a payment plan for the Growth Creator Incubator, or do you have to pay everything upfront? Yeah, you can, like, we have a payment plan over a few months. So if you want to get a payment plan, just check out webbyoffer.com, book a call, and speak with my team in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, and you can get your payment plan. Right? Cool. All right. I'm available now if you want to get started. Yeah, Riyadh can get you started. Damien, I saw that you just popped off. You want to kind of like talk about your experience with BNR? Go ahead.
Sure, man. Yeah, BNR has been great. I mean, before hopping on the at GCP, we were selling SEO services to HVAC companies, selling them for, you know, $1,000, a little over $1,000. After joining, you helped us with our offer tremendously, which gave us the ability to charge higher ticket. So literally just within, I'd say probably around 60, I think a little under 60 days, we were able to sell 9K ticket offers to HVAC clients. So, I mean, just on there is the return on investment there in terms of the offer building, which was probably like our biggest concern, the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I remember we were originally found you, Serge, looking at, you know, just trying to find some other company, some other agency to help us with our appointment setting, you know, filling up our calendar sort of thing. So, you know, after finding that and seeing that you also did like revamping the offer, that was something we were definitely like interested in doing, and honestly didn't expect you know, the kind of outcome in terms of what you were able to provide us. So
so before, how much were you selling your services for?
at max like 1,300 for like each month sort of thing.
And it's kind of
Monthly.
like almost the same thing as you're doing right now. It's not like you're doing 10 times more work, right?
Yeah, no. It might be a tiny more just because I've added more to the offer since. But yeah, in terms of workload, it's almost the same.
Sick. And how is your client acquisition? Like, maybe if you want to share, like, how many calls you get for this offer, how easy with ads it is, and I think you also just shared the fact that you just left your job, right?
Yes, yeah. I think a few weeks ago, finally quit after almost 3 years as a graphic designer. So, yeah, in terms of calls, right now we're doing about, I'd say 10 to 15 sales calls a week. Our sales is our sales percentage. Our closing rate's pretty high. My business partner is a good closer. So in terms of our acquisition costs, within the last 2 months, it's been anywhere from $500 to $700.
Yeah. For
Which
like
I
a
can't complain.
9K for every 9K offer you sell?
Yes, for a 9K offer. And also kind of like the struggle that we struggled in the beginning was getting them to sign on all upfront payments. I remember after speaking with you, actually, you gave us really big help on that, saying that our gap between our all upfront payment and the payment plan, there just wasn't a big enough gap, and you kind of showed us there. Literally right after that, the next week we sold 2 clients for 9K upfront. So that was huge.
Legendary.
Yeah.
No, I think it's for you because you were kind of like doubting selling to businesses, and I think maybe not you, but maybe Charlie. He kind of like got on a call with a HVAC company or a solar company making $700,000 a month, right? And he tried pitching them like a 7K price, right? And the guy looked at him and was like, "You're telling me that you're gonna do all this for 7K?" And the price was so little that the prospect was like, "Nah, this is probably not good."
Yeah,
Right?
that also happened to us as well. Yeah, the same thing. The guy said, "Hey, like, I think at the time we were going for 8K, and he had told us like 8K is peanuts to me, and he didn't really take it seriously, right?" Yeah, I think I remember having a conversation with Osama Casey about that, but yeah,
1,000%, 1,000%. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of everyone here needs to understand is that when you're going to go build your protocol and figure out how to sell to infrastructures to bigger businesses, trust me, if you don't charge them a lot of money up front, they're actually going to think that you're not that good. Conversely, when you're serving broke people, you always have to fight and bargain. While when our clients, our partners are selling to HVAC companies or solar, the prospects are telling them, "Hey, I'll pay you 36 grand for this, but I need these outcomes." So they're the ones who actually raise the bar on the price because they don't believe that anything great will be done with 8K or 9K or 10K, right? So that is one of the other benefit of this. Cool. Do we have Wyatt, anyone else who want to kind of like jump in, and any client in GCP. In the meantime, if me and my business partners sign up, does that mean we'd both have to access, or we'd need to purchase? Steven, you can get you guys, if you're partners, you can get in with one price. You don't have to pay twice. Also, by the way, we have people who've paid already. I don't know if you guys are already on there, are still on the call, but we have who's running the social partners agency? In the chat. Anybody who's running this? Well, thank you for paying. And then we have, I'm looking at Stripe, my phone, 1 second, guys. And then we have Nelson. Is Nelson still on the call right now? Gabby, love it. Thank you, guys. Gabby, what do you, what you want to unmute yourself? Can we unmute Gabby and just, would love to get more context on what you guys are offering. Cool. If anyone can find Gabby and unmute her, that would be perfect.
Yeah, I already did. Just waiting for them to unmute.
Cool. You can unmute yourself, Gabby.
They're shy.
You're shy. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, there's a lot of people here. It's stressful. Don't worry. Yeah, at some point you'll get used to it. You stop caring about people at some point. Cool. And is Nelson still here? I don't know if Nelson is still here, but cool. All right, guys. Any last questions? Cool. So probably have like probably 1 or 2 people to pay, and then we'll probably have sold out the first 5 seats. So that should be cool. How well can you do in digital marketing sales niche? It's saturated. It's so saturated. Get out of it. We probably have less than 10% of our clients in that niche. Everybody else is like completely different verticals. So we probably would get you out of there. If I don't like competing. I personally don't like to do something where everybody's doing, you know. Can you tell us the roles you have in your company? What are you going to do with that? Right. All right. Cool. Gilles, you said 1 spot left?
Yes, sir. It's spot left.
Did someone pay otherwise?
Chase purchases it. We're sold out. Chase.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Cool. I'm not targeting a specific niche with AI, or should I niche down? Yeah, you should niche down. When starting out with no experience, how do you prove your first client year? Well, you either buy experience or you go acquire experience with time, right? So that would be kind of like it. All right, guys. So I've made a YouTube video on book recommendations, so you can kind of like check it out on YouTube. Just go on my page and search up YouTube books that changed my life. I think you'll see a good, yeah. All right, cool, guys. This offer will be 12K once we've finished the product, right? Like once we've built and released everything that we're building on a week-to-week basis, then it will be 12K. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. How long was this? 3 hours and 40 minutes? So almost 4 hours? God damn. I need to learn to condense this stuff because this doesn't make any sense, right? All right, cool. So Steven just purchased. Steven, are you still here? I'm like, didn't I mention Steven before? We might have like 5 Steven purchasing. Chase, you're going to be the last person to purchase, and we shut down the actual payment page.
Actually, Wallace just beat him.
What?
Wallace just beat him.
Wallace just beat him?
Yeah.
All right. Chase, come on, man. What have you been doing? All right, cool, guys. So that is it. Wallace, can't wait to meet you guys. So the way that we're going to be doing is everybody gets onboarded tomorrow. We're going to give you access to everything. I'm traveling tomorrow. So what I'd like to do, so everyone who signed up, we're going to do a one-on-one group onboarding call, me and the 5 people signed up. And we're going to do a group onboarding call. I'm thinking Monday is going to be the best time for me to kind of like prepare, because I'm going to be traveling to Europe. And then I'm going to do a one-on-one session with everyone. And guys, like I said, this is just the beginning. I'm trying to give you guys as much support as we can, but the goal is, guys, go build a protocol in the niche of your choice, and please, please, please bring it back to me so we can scale. Like, for the love of God, I want to have more founders that we can partner with who are killing it in different verticals. I've done what I can do, but my niche is so competitive that it's ridiculous. I don't want to be in it. But instead, I'd like to attract you guys who are already killing it in other niches, then give you guys a whole infrastructure, leverage my team, because I don't need it. With my YouTube page, I can make $250,000 a month with nothing. But I need you guys to go ahead and build and stack $250,000 in HVAC, $250,000 in solar, $250,000 in yoga studios. It doesn't matter. Okay. So I'm really excited to have you guys again. So everyone, please, everyone who's signed up, everyone who's watching this recording is going to be uploaded shortly. And to everyone else, guys, YouTube is still free. $49 a week. You guys can get access to the information. But if you want access to the infrastructure, get started right now or book a call. Chase, if your payment is not working, DM me on Instagram. Let's do a split pay. I can divide it in 2 and you can get started. Everyone else, webbyoffer.com is going to be available for the next 48 hours. After that, it's going to be taken down. And that's it for today. Love you all. Take care. Have an amazing night. And thank you guys so much for spending 4 hours with me. This is legendary. I love you all.